Bob Yeager joined us.
Yes, Bob is here. Wait until you see that. You know how you can have the video located and it's the rest of the page will scroll and it just sits there. Imagine your
That
video
would be great, right?
rolling and the text is actually moving around it live. So as they scroll and read, you still remain on.
Absolutely.
Oh,
That would be great, right?
programmers, call me.
Yeah, there's the next plugin right now. So shh, no one can know about this. Good thing we're not live. Oh wait,
Hey
no.
Bob, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going there?
It's going
doing great.
Good. It took me forever.
Yeah, no. Google has been kind of weird. Actually, you were telling me about some of the tech issues that you were having, but I was playing around with these different apps, and Google was like, no, we're not going to play with these anymore. So that's
it's nighttime on the East Coast, so they're doing their thing. You got to remember that.
So they hate my good computers. They love my shitty little laptop.
Right. Right. That's always the case. That's always the case. Now, for those of you who are joining us live at the tail end of this presentation, I just clicked on Bob Yeager's picture here because he just moved into his new house, and so he doesn't have his webcam up and running. But he contacted me, was asking questions about this. Again, there's a lot of people who are contacting us personally and saying, "Hey, how does what is all this about?
How the hell does this thing work?"
Right, but interestingly enough, Frank, I told you about this. He's done similar live stuff before, from about 2005 to about 2008. Is that right, Bob?
Yeah. I slowed down and doing it in 2008 because we had so many workshops to do. I just didn't have time to do it anymore.
So, well, I mean, Frank and I are dying to know, as well as the people watching live, what is it that you did, and how did you leverage live video?
Oh, I started with a video broadcast of Outside the Box Live. It was a show that I used to do. We had like 150,000 live listeners. Wow. And I got this. It was when Now Live would allow you to social broadcast. Now they just do Hollywood premieres and stuff like that. And I got this idea one day, what if I put this live type chat and live video feed onto my sales page while I was launching one of my courses or something, and it just exploded because through that network, the whole thing became viral because as you got more viewers on your show, the more popular your show was, they showed it on their front page, so when people clicked, they'd come and pre-programmed in the type chat will be the link to that sales page. And so we were just feeding off the viral traffic coming from that network, right?
Oh, man, that's got to be crazy. I mean, but that's, you probably programmed a bunch of it, or?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I had a producer on the back end. I had a co-host moderating and everything. And then when Now Live shut that part down, we went over to Ustream, and you couldn't rely on it. It just shut down, every once in a while. But we were doing 24-hour live broadcasts in 2006 when nobody had freaking bandwidth,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somewhere along the line on one of our sales pages, we coined the phrase social broadcasting, and it's stuck,
No, that's crazy because remember what we were talking about when we first started chatting about this, Frank? We were talking about, they're not webinars. They're kind of like social webinars, right? And so the social broadcast, that is so cool, Bob, because on the same brainwave on that. Now, with that said, and you seeing Google Plus Hangouts and what we've been doing and what Anthony Aries and Brad Goss did, what do you see the sort of this new chapter being that you like you said when you started doing it, you saw this massive amount of viral exposure from it, even back in 2005, 2006 when bandwidth was just a thing that didn't exist for anybody offering a product or people consuming the content. So now that we're here in a much more I say widely accepted world of technology, what do you see the future of a live video now, especially for marketers?
Well, like I was telling, I was talking to J.P. Maroney earlier, and I was telling him people want you to pull them out of the crowd and talk directly to them. They want to experience, even in the sales process, they want you to be there right now to answer all their questions. They want you to be there right now to recognize what they have to say. And the more live exposure you can give to your sales pages, the more sales you're going to make. And you'll actually find you get very little refunds when you're there live interacting with people on a regular basis. And a lot of people have tried to do it, and I think as Google advances upon, hopefully they don't get rid of Hangouts like they've taken some of our other tools away over the years. I doubt that they will. Once they advance upon it a bit more, I can see us being able to do more things with our sales pages and stuff, like having a better type chat interaction below our stream and things like that, right within our sales pages, being able to embed the chat and all those types of things. But you're going to find that the more you interact with people in real time, the better results you're going to get, and people are going to love you for it. But you have to be ready at the same time as a marketer to be able to answer the questions you don't have answers to, right? Yeah. And not to bullshit your way through it. But exactly. One thing we found out over the years of all the broadcasting that we've done, spotlight the customer. You know, when they buy and they come on and they say, hey, I just bought your course, say, hey, let me pull you into the Hangout and let me walk you through it real quick. In real time on your sales page, you're walking them through the whole course, telling them what to click, telling them what to experience. And other customers or prospective customers hear them saying, wow, that's really cool. I didn't even know that was in there. And then you just say, shh, don't tell anybody. You know, we're going to save that as a surprise. So all of these things that you can preempt to, and other people are seeing that these people are already in there, they're already experiencing your product, makes them feel like they're already there in your product too. Yeah. So the next thing they have to do is click to buy, and they're ready to go. Yeah. But I say don't limit yourself to just having Hangouts on your sales page. As soon as they log into the back office members area, there could be another stream of Hangouts going on during the launch just for the paying customers. Say, look, all these other clowns are over here getting ready to buy, but guess what? You're in, so now I'm going to give you some really good stuff we didn't announce on the sales page. And you can interact with them live after the purchase. You know, so a lot of people think you have to have a big team. You don't. You just recruit your friends, recruit people that are working on your project with you. Make sure everybody's accountable and available. And the best thing you could possibly do is always record every single thing you do, because you guys might do something on Hangouts here on your sales page, and you might be like, wow, that really rocked. We need to do it again. And I'm the type of guy that says, why didn't you fucking record it?
Yeah, come on. No, I'm
and then just put a live type chat below it or something, so you could be there in real time responding to the type chat while you're rebroadcasting your stream. Right.
Well, and that's one thing that we figured out when we were just during the day when we go back and forth. We'll come up with an idea or something. Every one of our meetings is recorded. And, and we'll bury it, but we want it there so we can say, what did we say last week? And, we go through and pick it and we go, oh, that's what it was. But you never know, or you come up with a good little back and forth, and we can cut that up for, our WSO show and put it in there and, edit it later, or if we're doing a promo, so you should always be recording anything.
Yeah, I've had partners in the past say, hey, Bob, I recorded that clip. You just nailed out, because we were like throwing pitches back and forth. We used to work with Billy Mays and a bunch of guys, and we'd be just spinning pitches with each other. He taught me how to pitch, right? And so one day my business partner said, hey, Bob, I recorded all that stuff, us just throwing pitches back and forth. I want to throw that on the sales page, just that one little clip. I'm like, all right. So when people went to the sales page, there was this really cool pitch, and we found that a lot of the users were scrolling straight to the bottom, going right to the buy button. They weren't even reading the sales page and just going straight through. And then with our live broadcasts, it's really about time. It's not about okay, we're going to do this 1 hour live broadcast to preview the launch and stuff like that. It's really about how long can you stay on there, what's your endurance level, right? Because we did one that was like 49 and a half hours straight, and I'd take like 10-minute breaks in between to like chug down some Red Bull and rub my eyes and put water on. Hours. By the time we were done, I was just spitting out garbage just because I was so punch drunk I couldn't concentrate anymore. But it was fun because I was able to get other people in our industry, like Bob Proctor and a bunch of other people, to come on to the call they'd be on MySpace at the time, and
Right.
we're chatting back and forth. I'm like, hey man, you know what? I'm about to pass out here. Could you jump onto this call and take over for like 15 minutes? I need to shave. I need to do all these things. Could you come on? They're like, oh yeah. So then we're like, hey, tell all your friends Bob Proctor's coming on in 5 minutes, and everybody's like, holy shit, right? But the thing is, people, a lot of people that are listening to this thinking, well, I can't contact those kind of people. The hell you can't. You can go right on Facebook. They're online. You type chat them and say, hey, I'm doing this call right now. If I gave you a link, could you jump on real quick? I'd be more than happy to promote your book while you're on there, whatever it may be, and just give them the premise of the call. Boom, they're on the call like that. They don't care who you are. They see exposure. That's all they care about.
Well, that's one thing that I've learned. I've met some really great guys, either watching local TV or I was able to connect with Mike Michalowicz. He wrote the Pumpkin Plan and the Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. I saw an interview going on. I paused my 60 Minutes TV on a Sunday, did a couple little searches around, found his company number, called into the company. It was his cell phone. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, I want to talk to Mike. I want to do an interview. He's like, this is Mike, and we built up a relationship. I mean, 4th of July, he's calling, wishing my family, happy holiday and everything. And I've never understood that fear to go to somebody, especially somebody who's, out there to promote themselves. You might not get, the president of General Electric or, the CEO of Amazon.
You'll probably get Obama on
somebody.
Yeah, Obama's all about it. He'll be like, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, he'll get on there. But, yeah, I think what people have to start realizing is the Internet's such an open place anymore. Nobody's a superstar anymore. Everybody's equal at this point. So, you might type chat me up. I may not even know you, and your intention might be for me to promote your product or something. And used to be, I kind of ignore all those invitations and everything. And I've learned over the years, I don't know who anybody is. I don't know what they got going on. I don't know how good they are. So let me give them a shot. Let me find out how good they really are. But what you guys are doing here with teaching people about these sales pages, what I tell people all the time is, this is the kind of stuff you buy. You learn how to do this kind of stuff because it sets you above the rest. But also, think about courses like this. I like to save up for big courses. I like things that I can either hand to my project manager, he can learn it and he can go do it, or I can soak into it and it's part of my specialized skills, makes me better. But then I think about, I'm going to call up Comcast today and say, hey, if I paid you some extra, could you crank up my upload speed so I can do better broadcasting? And, I got them up to the point now where I'm like 50 megabytes per second download and like 20 upload and everything because I just want to be able to stream like crazy, right? And then save your dollars and get a nice Sony cam, something big with FireWire connection, broadcast right. Then save up some more and get yourself a Behringer soundboard and a good, SM57 microphone or something, right? And just upgrade that system and treat it like you were when you were a teenager. Like I got spinners on my car and I got the sound system in the back. Well, put all that shit into your computer, right?
Yeah, speaking our language, Bob. Speaking our language.
That's it. And, because, at the end of the day, when you're broadcasting, people's download speed doesn't matter as much as your upload speed does.
Right.
Yeah.
Download speed has surpassed expectations over the past 2 years. So now we have to think about, as marketers, we have to increase our upload speeds. We got to be able to put a better quality image out there. We need to use better equipment. And if you're afraid of it, get over yourself and just go do it. Just quit screwing around. It's business.
Yeah. Well, and one of your interesting points that you had brought up a little bit earlier, Bob, is that to mention people as they come in, and just wanted to throw out here really quick. I hope I'm saying this right. Gorufus, Gorufus. He writes, wrote a reply on the thread, said, "Looks good, Zane. I'm in." So thanks for jumping in, and since we're still here, if you would like, you can always drop some more questions in, or in the YouTube video itself, or you can just contact me directly. All the information will be in there when you go through the payment process, because JV Zoo is pretty sharp about that. But again, taking a page from Bob Yeager here, because he's been doing this for a while. I mean, like just
Little
what you
bit.
said with the tech stuff you were talking about. You're just like this, and this. I'm like, yeah, this guy's been doing this for a while. We should
Yeah,
listen.
we've done over 3,000 social broadcasts since 2005. We got
and 49 hours on one of them.
Yeah, we were doing on average for Outside the Box Live. We were doing 3 broadcasts a day, 7 days a week. It was nonstop, and every show was different content. There was no replays or anything like that. So, like, I have one computer that just won't work anymore because I have too many archives stored on it, right? But it's kind of like, it was so easy to come up with content. It still is, because everybody wants to be interviewed. A lot of people think, well, I can't contact this person to interview. And one of my students said on a call that I was on the other night with him, I had one of my students in the room. He goes, Bob, you've been around for a while and you got this stuff down. You used to have this show and stuff. It's easy for you to ask people to interview. And one of my students piped up, pretty shy guy, and he goes, you know what you should do, David? He said, you should buy their product and immediately email them and tell them how much you love it and ask if you can interview them. Because that's your in. And I'm like, holy shit, that's slick. Yeah, I never even thought of that myself, So I just buy their shit and say, hey, give the love back, right?
I ended up getting a lot of not necessarily JV support, but just hey, okay, you're somebody that I would consider mailing for, kind of thing. Simply because at different live events that I would go to, it wouldn't be like, please tell me your secrets. I would just simply walk up, shake their hand, and say, yeah, I wrote down a few notes. I like this, and this, and that was it. I enjoyed your presentation, and every single time, as I would turn away, they would stop me and go, but who are you and what are you working on? And simple as that. And I believe the same goes for interviews as well. Now, Bob, with something like this, I believe that it will also inviting people into the film strip and whatnot also gets additional JV support as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely. Anytime we did one of our launch page live broadcasts, we always had JVs come onto our calls with us. The one thing we always made sure of, we gave our JVs at least a summary of the product, or if not the product itself, weeks before we even did this broadcast. And then we'd sit with them for hours on end, training them to use the broadcasting system properly. So there was no glitches, very little glitches throughout the whole thing. And we never scripted what they said, and we didn't even know if they liked our stuff. We just assumed that they're going to come on there and do us some justice and everything. And we were never afraid if they said, hey, this is so-and-so from, ILikeYourMother.com or something. We didn't care. It was just our way of saying, go ahead and say your link. What's your book? And what was funny was when we got our JVs on the call, we didn't talk about our product that we were launching. We interviewed them about theirs on our launch page, right? And a lot of times, because of doing that, our JVs would say, hey, Bob, you know what? I just want to put this out there. You guys know I have that course out there, and here's what I'm going to do. Anybody that signs up on Bob's product tonight, I'm going to give it to them. No matter if you're one of my customers or not, I'm going to give it. So we got all these JVs to just start bonus stacking the hell out of a live call, man.
Right.
And anybody that's listening to this right now that gets involved with launches of this caliber, where you're doing a live launch page, don't be afraid to be the JV and say, hey, can I get on your call with you? Because I'll give all your customers a bonus. Because, guys, that's list building to its fullest. Yeah. It's all buyers, right? So we were building lists of buyers that were just buying because they wanted all these other people's bonuses and everything, right? Yeah. So I think we spent more time, like, we didn't get a lot of refunds. I still to this date, I can't tell you that I had any refunds. One person bought a duplicate copy or something, but I don't get refunds. I'm not used to it, okay? And I think it was because we always just kept, boom, here's something else. Boom, here's something else. Boom, here's another thing for you. This guy said we could give this to you. And we just kept stacking and stacking and stacking for weeks after the launch. But I'll give you guys a tip. A little bling we used to put on our sales pages. It increased conversions by about 13% almost every single time. Right above our video, we put a black bar that said parental advisory. This live broadcast is PG-13.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Just to let people know that I got a foul mouth and everything. But it increased our viewer rate like you wouldn't believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that might have to be a warning with me and the F-bombs that I drop just naturally.
Yeah, it could be rated R. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been known. Well, I'm a marketing whore. Oh, Justin Popovic says you are an awesome dude.
Justin's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I posted out there. I put, holy crap, Bob Yeager's on here with us, and he's like, he came right back and he said, Bob's awesome. So
and Gorifus, actually, his I know him. His name is Damian Rufus. He just made a comment on one of the Facebook groups, and he's the one that just recently jumped in. But really smart, cool guy. But you were saying, Frank?
Well, no, I was just saying, I'm a marketing whore, and with this, and I know that, with YouTube being involved, we can't have too much flesh, but I'm looking at, stripper poles in the behind the desk, and just going, hey guys, you want to buy the product because we're going to send you 2 of these,
Yeah, by the time you're done, you'll have a little box underneath. They have to check to verify they're 18 years of age or older.
No, I did notice that. I did notice somewhere on YouTube. I'll have to find it again. But there was a little icon that said 18 plus, and I think
that's on the Hangouts.
That's on the Hangouts. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so actually, I don't know what your time schedule is like, Bob. We're getting to the tail end of what we decided was going to be the end, but now I got tons of questions.
Out, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well. First of all, like when we started working on it and started going, okay, well, there's there's only a certain amount of time and patience that people have. But you mentioned that you guys did a 49-hour live broadcast. I mean that is the complete opposite of going, okay, well, we're just going to do this for 2 hours.
Well,
what did you discover? What led you to that?
Well, a lot of the times what we do, and this might sound crazy as hell, but we did it. See, with video, you're not screen capturing. You're not showing people what you're working on or showing them exactly how to do something. We would literally take the course that we were launching, and we would teach the whole thing live. Right? And nobody can hang out long enough live for the whole thing. But we'd literally teach the whole thing live.
Wow.
And we tell people, this is all the stuff that we're teaching in the course. So if you don't buy, make sure you take really good notes. Right? And nobody could record the whole stream. It was just too many gigabytes or terabytes of information, right? But we would literally reveal everything. We teach everything about the product throughout the first part of the broadcast, like the first day. And then after that, we'd answer questions that we got in. Like my partner would email me and say, hey, I got a list of like 50 questions that came in throughout the night and everything. Because I told people I won't respond to live questions, but my partner's going to hand me some. And every 2 hours, we're going to answer a bunch of these questions that we got in. So hang out and your question will get answered. We'll make sure we get to everybody. You had some what I like to call forum sleaze bags, guys that would come into the type chat and just spam the hell out of it. And most people turn that off so the links get turned off and everything, but we didn't, because our crowd would eat them alive. They would bury them.
That would be great.
So we just let people eat each other up in the type chat and everything because it was fun. We'd watch it. We're like, hey, look, that was a good comment. I'm going to write that down and use it in my sales copy. But I think what you have to do is when you're doing one of these launches, you look at, say, every 30 minutes, you give a soft pitch every 30 minutes. Just kind of give them an overview of the product. Hey, guys, we're here today because we're launching this new product, A, B, and C. And just to give you a one-paragraph synopsis, when you buy this product, this is the kind of results that you're going to see. This is the kind of thing that you're going to learn. You're going to have this solution to your problem, right? Because, I was telling JP and a couple other people earlier, Carl White and a few other people, that people don't buy what they need, they buy what they want, right? And with a live broadcast like this, if you're selling what they need, you have time to educate them to want what they need, because they're still only going to buy it if they want it, right? And if you still can't get them to buy it, even though they need it, then sell them what they want and give them what they need. Add what they need to what they want. Then they'll buy it. So what we found out through a lot of live broadcasts, people would just keep telling us what they want, what they want, what they want. And we were selling what they need. So we said, you know what? Let me make note of that. And I get on with my web guy, Keith, and I'd say, hey, Keith, could you add that form to our back office? He goes, yep, it'll be done in 20 minutes. So boom, it was like, here's the form for our customers, right? Nice. Could you add a video chat support stream in the back office? Because there's different softwares you can do that with. Keith would be like, yep, 15 minutes, done. Boom. So we're, just value stacking. The customers are dictating how we're going to create this product, how it's going to flow out. And a lot of the products that we sell, we don't create until we get all the people enrolled into it. So we get paid to create all of our products, right?
Very clever.
Yeah, because to us, it's if you fill up a live environment, and when that becomes evergreen, now you know it's marketable. But if you can't sell it live, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to sell the automated version or the evergreen version, right? So if you still want to create it and you only had like 3 or 4 customers, which happens, we all know that, still do it. Just think down the line, I'm going to add this product as a bonus to one of my other products that people actually buy. You know, so you get a lot of data research. You have to have somebody there recording the type chats, no matter if it seems like drivel or not, recording the conversations. Then you have to take the time yourself a few days later after all the buzz wears off to sit down and actually read those conversations and take note and say, what can I create from this to give to these people for spending all that time with me, right? So it's just like you're working your ass off. And people are just like, you know, oh, you can't really work that much. The hell I can't. Yeah. You know, I have a list of 64 people that pay me $64,000 a quarter, and they have done so since 2007. All right, I treat those people like gold. I treat them very good.
Sounds worth busting your ass for.
Yeah, that's it. And you know, to me, busting my ass is working 17 hours a week. You know, it's like, whew, I'm sweating. You know, but so every once in a while, it's kind of like, all right, I'm going to get ready for one of these big live broadcasts, and I'll literally just work out for 2 months, eat real healthy for 2 months, get lots of sleep, meditate a lot, like 2 or 3 hours a day, nonstop, spend a lot of quality time with my kids, and let my family know every time we get closer to that date, hey, remember, you guys got to go away for 2 days because I don't want any distractions, any noise. I unplug the phone, everything's shut down except for what I need to do this thing, and I always have backup. Because you don't know. I mean, I've passed out almost during doing these things and stuff.
Yes.
But people don't understand when you put that level of commitment to it. That's when you make the millions of dollars a year. You know, it's 6-7 figures seems like second nature to you. You actually get tired of doing it and say, you know what, I don't need to make that much money anymore. If I make $3,000 this month, I'll be happy with it, and I'll be okay. Yeah. So you really learn to cater to your customers in a way where your business just kind of sells itself. You don't really have to do much to sell it. So these things don't become work; they become just play. You get to have a good time with it. Right.
Awesome. I see now for those of you, I mean, we're past the time. This is overtime now, and now I'm just getting I'm getting tutored by Bob Yeager.
You're interrogating me now.
Yeah. So for those of you who are interested in the product, you're watching this live on the forum. Go ahead and check out the content. We'll circle back around.
Yeah. What's the price on that, man? Because I think I looked at it. That was a steal. For that course.
Thank you. I always look at the products and the price points and I go, okay, now is this something that I would buy because I'm a cheapskate. I'm either going to find out how to do it for free and so I wanted to make sure that this is something someone would look at and go, I've done this before and this is an absolute steal because of just the sheer amount of tools that are given to you. Are confusing on which has the highest priority, but getting advice from you, such as making sure that going through the comments and responding to the comments and you basically reading them, the simple fact that anything that is made a comment on the actual live video, the YouTube watch page itself, becomes a comment on the video once it becomes a YouTube video. So it actually benefits SEO purposes for YouTube and whatnot as well. And you have all of those comments archived that you can come back later to.
Yeah, and things like we're doing right now, what I call bullshit sessions. We're just bullshitting about whatever, we can bullshit about, right? What people don't understand is the longer you broadcast online, you're going to hit all the time zones. You're going to hit all the people that missed the broadcast from earlier, and they're coming into this conversation, and the thing they're thinking to themselves is, what did I miss? Yep. Is there going to be a replay of the whole thing? And I tell people all the time, there's no way in this world that you can dedicate yourself to listen to this replay all the way through, right? You got to go back to the days where we all used to gang up and play Mortal Kombat for 72 hours straight and Final Fantasy and shit, right? Man. The all-nighters, Yep. You go through 3 cases of beer and you were sober in the morning and you're like, what the hell, right? Yeah.
That's dark circles under your eyes. I finally did it.
Yeah, but when we all started on the internet, really being able to enhance upon the broadcasting element of the internet, we couldn't get enough. We couldn't walk away from it. And when a meeting was over, we're like, shit, I didn't want that to be over. I want more. Give me more.
Yeah.
But there's still so many billions of people coming online today, every single day, saying, hey, I never experienced this before. Can I have more of this? So you're just going to keep feeding it. But, one thing I want to touch upon, Warrior Forum. One of my favorite places in the world. I don't launch WSOs. I launched one last year for my project manager. We wrote a strategy together. He turned it into a product. I don't launch WSOs, but I love just like reading what new people are posting. I love looking at the products that are coming out. I buy a lot of products. I am a buyer. You guys have no idea. I am addicted to buying.
Excellent.
I love buying stuff.
I'm glad you're going to like the product.
but what I tend to see is, like, I think you guys, what do you have on this? 97? Is it 97 price point?
$97, and it goes each piece.
I looked at that price and it made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it makes a lot of people sick.
No, it made me sick to my stomach because it was way undervalued.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say, when I launch a product, if the price makes me sick to my stomach, I did a good job at putting the price on it, right?
We made Boss Yeager sick, and that's a good thing.
And but you're going to have you're going to have a lot of your regular buyers say, well, how can you justify charging that much on the Warrior Forum? Hey, folks, get used to paying top dollar for high quality information. That's the way it's supposed to be. For people that don't like upsells and one-time offers and all those things, or people that ask about it on the type chats, in the threads all the time, do you have a one-time offer? Stop it. Allow yourself to see the market and experience. Allow yourself to see that sales process and be surprised about it, and record the feelings that you have as a buyer going through those things. Then you know what processes work. If you ruin the magic trick, and I tell people this, my students all the time, if you're constantly trying to ruin the magic trick, the magic wears off. We're internet marketers. We've seen everything. We see it all the time. We get sick and tired of it. But here's the funny thing about, have you guys ever heard anybody say, I'm just sick of upsells and one-time offers?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. You know why they're sick of them?
Because they keep buying them.
Because they buy them. That's it. And they don't understand why. They don't understand why they buy them. Most of the time, the upsell or the one-time offer isn't something that makes the original product not work. You can't use the original product. It enhances upon. It enhances upon the experience of the original product. The reason we buy it is because we want the enhanced experience. We want the excitement of everything, right?
Yeah.
I say, as a buyer, allow yourself to be excited about the upsell, the one-time offer. Don't ask in the thread, is there a one-time offer? Don't run the magic trick. Experience the magic for what it is and record your experience throughout. And when you find that you bought a product that you're proud of and you're like, wow, I'm really going to use this, record that emotion too. And then think to yourself, how can I use this in my marketing? I see people buying, I remember back in the day when we were all doing the mass control launch. All of us were. We still do.
Mass control,
right?
Yes.
But I wrote the same kind of experience in the Chaos Theory Within Internet Marketing in 2006. It was almost identical thing. Product launch formula was almost identical to that experience, right?
Right.
And I used to say to people, they're like, I can't afford mass control. I'm like, just look at the launch sequence. It's there. Pay attention. There's a reason why he's doing it. It works. Just record what they're doing. Instead of seeing all these emails that you get as, spam or solicitation, see it as, hey, that was really damn good copy. I'm saving that. Why did that make me click? I want to read it over again. What did he use in that made me click through, that made me want to buy, that made me want to buy the one-time offer? Start recording those experiences. And when you see something like this, you're not going to see a whole lot of people besides like Rich Sheffrin, and maybe Jay Abraham, John Azaraf, people like that, doing live launches. It's a rarity if you see the live launch. It's because people are afraid of it. They think there's too much technical stuff behind the scene, too much post-production and everything. There is too much. But once you do it a few times, you're just kind of like, that's no big deal. And your stream shuts down on you. You guys ever have that happen?
Yeah, well actually, Google, when you're 3 hours into it, there will be a pop-up that comes up and it says, you have 1 hour left before we shut it down for you.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah. I've had GoToWebinar shut me down a few times. I'm like, hey, wait, I pay for that shit.
Yeah.
What's going on, But it's the internet. It's not perfect. And you have to kind of joke about that throughout the stream. You say, hey, guess what? We're on the non-perfect internet right now, and there's a good chance this stream will be interrupted. So regularly refresh. Okay, just saying.
Case in point, no, that exact same thing happened with you, Bob. We were talking through Facebook, and you're like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm jumping through different browsers, and it's not letting me in. And was like,
yeah, I don't understand. I've always talked good about Google. You know, I've always showed my love. I give them a lot of my money every year, and they still screw with me. You know?
Yeah, well, you were able to show up, and now you're here. So I mean, Google must have pulled their head out for a few minutes and
no, I was just persistent. I dug out an old laptop and loaded it up, and it took 15 minutes for the damn thing to update. And
you had to do the crank on the side.
Yeah. I had jumper cables out. I had my tractor outside my window, get ready to jump the battery and shit.
Very nice. But like you get MacGyver. You're good on your feet.
Oh yeah. I'm formerly a robotics engineer, man. That's what I used to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I used to build robots.
Wait, how does a robotics engineer end up doing Billy Mays type pitching through live video?
I started out when I was 17 at Dial America, big telemarketing firm. Right? Now you're laughing. Hold on. I was 17. I had hair down to my ass, was wearing a painted leather jacket, went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and they were recruiting for telemarketers, right? So I come up, I needed a job, and I'm like, all right, I'll do this. And I was there for 20 minutes. I made 4 sales on the phone. The manager said, we don't do it like that. You read from the script. You don't divert from the script, and blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what, dude, kiss my ass. I don't need this shit. I was an asshole. I didn't care, right? I'm like, I'm in a band, man, And so I'm getting ready to leave, and the Arthur, who's the president of the CEO of the company, he was there, and he came over to me, and he goes, you think you could tie your hair back and put some clothes without holes in them on? I'm like, yeah, but I didn't get the job. He goes, no, I want you to train my team on exactly what you just did. And so when I was 17, I started training all of Dial America's teams across the country. And what was funny was I knew shit about sales, right? I knew nothing. I just knew how to talk to people. Well, then we used to go down the Strip District in Pittsburgh, and Billy Mays lived here. And he'd hang out in the Strip District. All the sales guys would be down here. And one day I see this dude. He wasn't real big at the time or anything, and he had his beard and everything. Still same blue shirt and khaki pants and shit. And he's standing on a milk crate pitching out loud. I mean, you can hear him from all the way across the street and shit, right? And so I went over. I'm like, who is this guy? And everybody's like, oh, just tell him what your product is, and he'll throw out a pitch, and use that pitch when you're going out doing sales today. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I told him my product, and he's just pitching. I'm like, dude, I want to hang out with you. He goes, be here every day. So I was for like 3 years straight, every day, nonstop. Started my own wholesale company. We were selling steak door to door. You ever see the guys with the little pickup trucks in the freezer? I started my own company. I had 74 trucks. We had 2 distributors per truck. And I'd take him down the strip. And then one day Billy Mays was gone, and he was selling OxyClean, and we were all making fun of him. And so I started teaching people that stuff. Then I got certified in NLP and hypnotherapy, and then I started training more in the martial arts, like teaching people how to communicate with their opponents and things. And then, when I was sick, I had cancer for 8 years. I stopped doing everything. I just shut down. I just said, you know what, I'm going to take care of me for a while, travel, get healthy and shit like that. And when I got healthy, I got married, had a baby, and found myself on welfare. So, yeah, well,
that's quite the coaster.
The money don't last too long when you don't have medical insurance, and they tell you you're going to die in 6 months. So I went online because I'd worked in robotics for a while, and I was working on government contracts, and I ended up suing the company for stealing some of my designs. And when I left, I went to apply for like 60 some other companies, and they said, dude, you've been blacklisted. You can't work for anybody. And I said, because I sued somebody? And they're like, no, because you worked on government contracts, and we don't want to think those designs would bleed into the designs you do here. So it was like, boom, in an instant. It's like 120 grand in education right out the freaking window, right? So my wife hands me a computer. I didn't even know how to turn it on. This is like 2005. And she says, I said, how do you get on the internet? She goes, click on this little Internet Explorer icon. I'm like, oh, all right. So I click on it. I said, it ain't working. She goes, well, you have to get the internet hooked up. I said, I thought it came with the computer. You know, I didn't know what it was, right? so I pop in a little AOL dial-up, free 90-day dial-up disc, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and I go online and I see all these ads on these websites and stuff. I'm like, this is really cool. They do a lot of marketing on here. And then there was this dude. He had Magnetic Freedom Community, Bob Dinyard Fung and Leslie Yeager, really cool guys. And I found their conference room on Google somehow. I don't even know how I found it. And I just came in, and there's like 200 people from around the world in there. I'm like, oh shit, am I supposed to be here? And Leslie said, he goes, says over his mic, Bob Yeager, do you have a mic? And I said, no. How do you hook a mic to a computer? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, that's okay, just type chat. And he goes, well, so what can we help you with? I said, I'm tired of being broken. He saw it as I'm tired of being broke.
All right,
And
right.
he said, I'll help you change that mentality. And I was just like hooked. I'm like, I want in, man. How do I do this shit? And they thought I wanted to learn all the success stuff. So I basically applied for one of their programs. They were giving a scholarship away, $10,000 scholarship for one of their training programs. And I put it out there that my whole story, laid it all out. I'd never told anybody all about myself before. So it was kind of rough, you know, the welfare, the cancer, everything, right? And they said they usually get one-page essay applications, and I sent in like 64 pages, and that was like my biography. Right?
It's like, hey, if you want to know, here you go, right?
Yeah. So Leslie basically called me up on the phone, and he said, "Hey, he goes, I know you're broke and everything, but if you pay for these books, I'll let you into the program for free, and I'm going to train you for a year how to become a millionaire." And you know, this is around the time when you're at this phase of starting to learn how to be an entrepreneur, you don't doubt anybody. You just say, well, this dude's doing it, so shit, he's going to be able to teach me how to do it, right?
Exactly.
So basically, if he said do something, I did it. If he said buy something, I'd go out and shovel dog shit out of people's backyards to get the money. I did it. I wouldn't stop. And then when I saw, hey, I know how to do that, but I know how to do it better, I'd do it better. And I just kept on rolling. And Leslie got real sick, and he had to go offline for a while. So I missed like 8 months of that coaching, basically. And I just said, screw this. I'm not giving up. I'm just going to keep doing it. Where all the other students just said, oh, I guess we're done now. You know, I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to keep going, right?
Yeah.
So my first thing I sold online was a ebook and a 4-week training. I sold it for $39, the ebook. And I said, if anybody buys the ebook, they can have a 4-week training for free. From the 4-week training, I sold a 197 training. The first set of sales, I made about 50 grand in about a weekend. So I had welfare. I was calling up the welfare office like, shit, they got to cancel my shit because they're going to arrest me.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to think I'm scamming them or something. And then the next month, PayPal calls me up and says, we've had some unusual activity on your account. I'm like, I didn't buy anything this month. She goes, no, you made a lot of sales, and we just wanted to verify these sales. I'm like, oh, okay. And she wanted to see the page and everything I showed her. I said, can I ask you a question? She goes, yeah. I said, how do I see how many sales I made? She goes, well, you log into your PayPal account. And I said, and I do that where? That's how screwed up I was with this shit, right? And I was just teaching sales training online. I wasn't teaching internet marketing. I didn't know that shit, right?
Right.
And
right.
So then I look at my account, and there's like $174,000 in my account. I was scared shitless. I'm like, oh shit, you know. And then I started talking to people online. They're like, it's okay, Bob. We'll walk you through it. You know, you can pay us a lot of money to teach you how. and I did, you know. And then this group that I was part of online, they invited me down to Costa Rica to speak of how did you do this? Because they were all trying to market online, and none of them could be able to do it. And so I went down there, and there's about 600 or 700 people there, and they're all asking, you know, can you train us on this kind of stuff for a year? I'm like, well, you guys would be learning it as I'm testing. Basically, 3 months after I'm done testing, you'd be learning this stuff. And they're like, that's okay. And they're like, how much would you charge for a year coaching, you know, 3 times a week for an entire year? I said, I don't know. What do you think's fair? And that's how I always did my prices. What do you think is fair?
See, okay. No, I thank you for saying that, because anytime someone's been like, okay, you need to do YouTube coaching and you need to charge this or this or this. I mean, I understand the different price points and whatnot, but really, that's the first thing that I want to say when someone says, you know, okay, how much does it cost for coaching? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think is fair? Because like that'll determine my next response.
Right. That's it. And these people said $5 grand. Some people said 10 grand. And I said, all right, it'll be $4,775. And they said, why? I said, because it's just below fair. So, fair enough, right?
Yeah.
Well, I got back from Costa Rica. That was my 30th birthday. I got back from Costa Rica about a week later, and there's all these boxes at my house and all these envelopes and shit, and they're checks. Because I told people I wouldn't take these payments through PayPal, right? $3.6 million.
Whoa.
Days. And I paid out the ass in taxes. You have no idea. I had no idea how to do the taxes or nothing. I think I got to keep like $120,000 at the end of the whole thing, right? Because I'm like hiring people to do customer support and all kinds of shit, right? But it was funny because my wife is just like, she goes, you just make money out of thin air. I said, it's not even like that. It's the amount of dedication and time you spend with people and allowing them to kind of dictate what they're willing to buy from you, what it is they want from you, and creating an equal exchange of value, and then just saying, I'm going to give you even more, right?
Wow.
I'm just going to keep pounding it on. And it's just like the stuff that guys do on the Warrior Forum. You say, well, I can't sell a $97 course on the Warrior Forum. Yes, you can. Give extra training with it. I'll tell you this: if you come into a 6-week training with me, the last 2 weeks of that I'm pitching you on an 8-week. Last 2 weeks of that I'm pitching you on a 16. And if you don't want it, that's fine. But it's going to be the next step up from where you just came from in my course, right? And and any of my customers, if they're on here right now, they could type chat and say, yeah, he sells me a lot of shit. But I don't really sell it. I just say, if you're interested, type me up on Skype or hit me up on Facebook or something, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you have a very fit. You have a very Gary Vaynerchuk approach kind of thing, like just I give a shit longer than anybody else does kind of thing.
Yeah, well,
that's his whole approach.
You have to be that way, but at the same time, like if you're doing independent coach, like individualized coaching or workshop coaching, you can't allow people to steal your time away from you. Make them set appointments. The way I do appointments is, email me 3 good days and 3 good times, and I'll pick one.
Huh.
So I want 3 good days and 3 times for each of those days, and I'll pick one. So I'm still dictating when it's going to be, but I'm going to cater to their schedule. If you don't show up, I ain't calling you, and they have to call me. I won't make that call. They have to call me. If they're more than 5 minutes late, I won't even answer the phone.
Wow.
Because my time's important.
Yeah.
It could have been somebody else having that time slot, right? It was like today, I was calling up Carl White, and he typed me on Facebook to give him a ring today at like 4:30. Well, I thought it said, I'll give you a ring today at 4:30. So I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, waiting around. 5 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, motherfucker. And I look at the Facebook chat. I'm like, oh, shit. He's not an asshole. I am.
I'm the asshole. That's
And then he type chats me back, or he calls me. I call him up, and he goes, "Man, I'm really sorry. I was out riding my son's electric skateboard and shit." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I was out on the tractor and shit, just screwing around." But I think what you have to do is, you have to be really resourceful. It doesn't matter the resources that you have; it's your resourcefulness. So if you're coaching people, especially in group environments. I love group environments because you get all these people saying, hey, Bob, are you going to do this in the course? You can't always say yes, but a lot of times you can say, yeah, absolutely, I'll add that for you. I wasn't planning on it, but yeah, I think that would be a good idea. But other times you could say, well, how about you connect with me on Skype after this call, or just hang out until everybody's gone for the room. And if everybody doesn't leave the webinar room, boot them out and get that person all by themselves and sit and talk. Don't sit there and talk with the attention, I'm going to sell them something else. Listen. Shut the fuck up and listen. See what they have to say. What are they working on? What are their problems, right? What are their stumbling blocks? And if you can help them with a solution that you have at hand right now, say, here, I did this product like a month ago. It's selling for like $2,000 right now. I'm just going to give you an account. You log in there and go through this.
Yeah.
And they're like, holy shit, really? And I'm like, yeah. But sometimes they'll be like, is there some kind of coaching you have or something? And I'll be like, no, but I can create it for you. And they're like, really? Yeah. I call it Socratic Business Systems. It's a course that I do.
Nice.
100% customized coaching. So, and it's on-call coaching. It's not like we have a set time each and every single week that we get together. They have 4 hours a month they can have. They can use them all in one day. They can use them all in 1 week. I don't care. It's only when they need me. And if they don't use those 4 hours this month, they can carry them over for only 30 days after that. Okay, so the next month they could have 8 hours, but they can't carry that first month's 4 hours to the third month or anything like that. Most people use them all up in like one day, one shot, which I like. I'm cool. I'm like, okay, well, how about on Saturday we get together and we just sit down and we hash it out until we're done. And I keep a time clock right next to me, and I log the time and everything, right? Then you have people that don't show up for their coaching. I give them a 3-strike rule. I will never sit here and just cancel calls with you. I might postpone or reschedule with you later on in the week or later on in the day for whatever reason, but I won't skip your call. If you skip your call, you don't get that call back. If you skip it 3 times, I fire you as a student, no refund. Don't waste my time.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of time I say, okay, well, you get an hour call, and I'll be on the phone with them for like 5 hours straight.
Right.
I don't care. What else am I going to be doing? Typing away on the internet, selling shit, So it's like, just chill out and have a good time with them and don't restrict yourself. And if you have conference calls, make sure you set aside 2 hours after your call and 2 hours before your call. The 2 hours before your call allows you to get prepped, allows you to clean up your presentation, allows you to get pumped up, motivated, get inspired, and get on that call. Then the 2 hours after allows you to sit there and say, okay, what did I like about it? What was right about this call? I don't focus on a lot of negatives. When I see a negative, I just say, okay, just not doing that anymore. It's gone. I'm not going to try to clean it up. I'm going to get rid of it. But what was right about this and how can I make it better? And I just sit there and go through that. And then for another hour, I sit and say, well, I'm going to look at the logs and the reports and see who showed up. For the people that registered and didn't show up, I'm going to send them a really good fuck you message and make them feel really stupid about not being there. Hey, guess what? I know you weren't on the call tonight, but I taught everybody how to make 50 grand in a day. Sorry you weren't there and there's no replay, but maybe next time you'll show up. Yeah. Right?
You missed us, man.
So
I'm sorry to interrupt. When you have a chance, can you just say to everybody that's listening that you didn't just fall into making this money?
No, I worked my ass off. Guys, when I came online, I spent 22 hours a day just researching, studying, learning every in and out, learning how to code, learning how to do conferencing systems, working on my voice. I took speech training to work on my voice to articulate my message. I did a lot of DJing. Those social broadcasts that I did for Outside the Box Live, it wasn't because I wanted this big-ass radio show online. It was because I wanted to practice and I wanted to be perfect in every single presentation I did. Then I watched everybody. I documented everybody's launches, everybody's emails. I paid attention to everything. But while I was doing all that, I was also implementing all that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to learn this and maybe, or I'm going to buy this product and maybe 6 months from now I'll need it. If I didn't need it right now, I wasn't freaking buying it. There was no, I'm buying this just in case, right? I'm looking for a solution right now. I seek out the solution. If I have to pay for it, I pay for it. I pay for it, I get the solution, I immediately implement the solution. And you just keep doing that, right? But no, my wife, she's in the room right now. She can tell you, I worked my ass off. I still work my ass off, right? And it's because you can't do this half-ass. You're serving people. You're providing people with answers. And if you're a slacker, you know what? Go do something else. Seriously. Right. You don't deserve to be working with customers if you're a slacker. Go work at McDonald's. They'll still pay you for slacking. Seriously, they will. I used to work there.
Actually, oh, sorry, Frank.
No, I was just gonna say it's like it's like I worked in the same spots that you did, Bob, because I was watching the guys who were selling the meat off the trucks. I went banging.
That was a blast. If you've never done it, you got to try.
It is. I knocked doors when I was selling soap, and I knocked doors when I sold for Kirby. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you what, if you've got the balls to go up and bang on the door in Detroit, Michigan, as a bald white guy,
yeah,
there's nobody out here that's going to really upset me, man. I've banged so many doors. I think I hit 300 plus in one day, and I would say maybe 2 said yes, they'd listen to me for like 5 minutes. So I'm used to the no, but my wife is also in the room, and when she heard some of the numbers you said, she's just like, blown away, because Zane and I are doing the same thing you're doing. We're putting in the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to come as it comes, and we're excited. But like with this video course that we're training, I told Zane I don't like the price point because we've got something that nobody else is teaching, and we know about the pitfalls. We've already released a course that's been successful. We have students who are utilizing what we've taught, and I thought we were giving it away. Now he said, but this is an intro course. Let's get some bones behind us. And I said, okay, that's great. I said, but this will be the last time that I'm ever going to accept such a low offer.
Wagged his finger at me like this. I'm just like, no.
My time is too valuable, and I've put in many years at this, and I hate leaving money on the table, period.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say to people that buy your course today is that, you're going to update this course. It has to happen. It's the internet. It's just the way it works, right?
Right.
You might find something else aside from Google Hangouts and say, hey, you need a backup in place, right? Just in case the shit ain't working today, you still want to do your launch, you got to have a backup, and you got to know how to use that backup. And you guys are going to spend your time to research that backup and use it and test it. And when that update comes out, the people that buy at this price today are going to get that update. They're not going to pay extra for it, not a 2.0 and shit like that. You're going to get it, and that's it, right? We're going to always make sure you're taken care of. We're going to make sure that you can use this, because this is a business model. Webcasting, social broadcasting, live launches, this is a business model, and it's a very serious one, and you can expand upon it. You can scale it up. You can scale it down. It's sustainable and scalable at the same time. So there's always going to be updates. You're not going to get away from it. I was using web conferencing rooms when everything was peer-to-peer downloadable. You had a separate window for your video camera. You couldn't record video. You could only record audio. Your slides worked like maybe 2 times out of 10, right? And people were still buying your shit, even though they didn't get video archives and stuff. We didn't have Camtasia and stuff. We were sitting here with old big VHS video recorders, recording them, then transferring them to DVDs, then burning them onto our computer, then uploading them. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And we were storing things on like blip.tv, and all of our videos were private, but they'd still ban our account because they didn't like our videos. I'm like, but that's my product. It's not even public, you assholes, right? And we were paying for that shit like $30 a month, right?
And you're talking, a massively complex technical system. We're talking about all right, we'll just
your webcam on
Facebook comments and don't click on the wrong box and realize that when the red dot and it says on air, you're on air.
Yeah,
it's so easy. People accidentally do it.
Yeah. So if you scratch yourself in the wrong place, make sure you work it into your pitch, right? Don't be afraid to burp on air. Keep your hand on the mute button at all times, right? And yes, for your first 50 broadcasts, at some point you will lose your voice, so get ready for it. Some honey and tea with a little bit of Jack Daniels in it, sitting on standby all the time, man, right?
Yeah.
Keep a Vicks vaporizer close by and some chloroseptic spray because you're going to need it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Bob, to give people a little bit of perspective that are watching live right now, you actually contacted me on Facebook, and you had some questions about the product itself, because you said that you were preparing to do a webinar class on conducting webinar sales. Now, I hope I'm not throwing you under the bus, but I'd really like to know, and I'm sure everybody else here, especially with some of the numbers you've been throwing around, are desperately wondering what on earth that is. And I think it's just kind of cool to be able to have okay, here's the live broadcast, and by the way, here's something else that you had no idea was going to be available. So, Bob, let us in on this. What's going on?
It's called W3. It's webinars and webcasts and workshops, because there's not just one format. There's multiple formats of doing webcasting. And back in February, I was doing it for a group of my private students, like 6 people. And my mom got really sick, and I had to quit doing it right in the middle of the course and everything. And everybody knows I'm actually recording all those things now. I was working with people at the time. I'm not working with people now. So all the work they used to do, guess who's doing it now? Me, right? And it was I stopped working on it for a long time, and my students knew that I was going to come back later this year and do it. and they get into the class for free and everything because they had already paid for it basically. Very understanding students, trust me. And it came down to my marketing got too dark for my own tastes. My personal life was feeding into my classes, into my coaching,
Okay.
and I could feel that coming out. So I'd listen to a recording, and I'm like, this just doesn't excite me. It doesn't get me going. I need to be excited by my own stuff, and instead I was falling asleep to my own stuff. And so I decided I'm going to redo it because I've been doing webcasting. I mean, me and people like JP Maroney. I mean, there's a few webcasters out there that have done thousands of broadcasts. We kind of have our shit together, and we don't have stage fright at all. But we know a lot of people need to learn how to do webcasting the proper way. They need to know how to do their pitches. There's a lot of embedded commands in pitches, not that it's manipulating. You can't actually manipulate anybody. That's a choice. They choose to be manipulated. You can inspire people, but they have to choose to take action. Yeah. Right? So any action they take, you didn't reach through the computer and twist their arm. I'm trying to work on an app for that, but as of yet, haven't come up with it yet, right? But basically, it's how to do webinars, how to do webcasts, which are completely different. I call them social broadcasting, and how to do workshops. Because if you sell with webinars, you can have people pay you for your webinars. Okay, I've sold almost every webinar I've ever done. People had to pay to get into. Okay, no matter if I was pitching or not, because the content I give in a webinar is a paid product. It is that caliber. So I said, well, hey, what if people paid me to pitch them? That would be fun.
Yeah, right.
That'd be enjoyable. So I said, okay, well, what would that take? Well, I'd have to come up with valuable content that people are just like, holy shit, is this how I paid for this? Right? So my leads went from, webinar leads are worth zero until they buy something, right? Or my webinar leads are worth $27 a lead, at least, because that's how much they pay to get into the room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So to me, a $27 lead is much better than a $0 lead.
Yeah, or a negative number you have to pay for.
Yeah, the trick is what I'm seeing, because webinars are becoming a very viral element, mostly in the IM and personal development communities. They're becoming, in network marketing, they're becoming very viral. Everybody wants to do it, but progressively everybody keeps getting closer to the pitch in their presentation. They just keep filling the whole thing with a pitch, and more of that segment is a pitch. And I just did a webinar. You're in the webinar group on Facebook with us, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think that's how I've seen a lot of your comments and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just posted the stats from a webinar I did the other night, and it was the first one I've done in a long time. I don't do a lot of them. I don't do affiliates or anything, like, ever.
Are you comfortable enough with Hangouts to be able to do a screen share so you can show us a picture? Or I can find it. I mean,
I'm using an old laptop. I don't have shit on this computer.
Okay. All right.
I think I might have DOS on this computer, dude. I'm serious. It's like this old Acer computer. I think it was their prototype or something.
Had to be.
It was made in a cardboard box.
It was 2 models after the Commodore 128.
Yeah, it doesn't even say, like, what's the chip in here. I'm looking for it.
It's the INT, because they didn't even have the EL yet.
Yeah, it says on the thing here, we're thinking about an AMD 64 processor, but we haven't come out with it yet. Stay tuned. 2001.
Yeah. Well, no, and Bob, you make a really good point with this, and I'm really excited to hear more about this. Simply because, actually, I as a kid, I grew up as the drama nut, right? I was in all the plays. I was doing any kind of performance. I mean, when it's like, hey, we have an ability to do live video, and I'm like, really? It's about damn time. So
did you say it like that too? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I can't even contain myself. But I grew up learning, like seeing that, that when you see a Broadway play and everybody's moving in time and singing on point and doing everything they're supposed to, it's because they were at it for hours and hours and hours, and they stopped and said, no, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. So when I was introduced into the sort of webinar circuit, and I was pitching the Hacking YouTube 2.0, because I mean, I dove in, was like, here's my massive course, and everybody, at least to my knowledge, I mean, at least as I interpreted it, everybody just assumed, since I'm Mr. Talk all the time, that I just knew what I was doing come the webinar time.
Yeah.
And so I had never done a GoToWebinar, actually one other, and I totally botched it and started the broadcast and was like lining out the webinar with the person I was talking to, because they didn't know how to use it either. And like half an hour in, they're like, we can hear everything you just said. So it was like, oh, okay, end broadcast. At least that's so. So when I started doing these webinars, I mean, I was scheduled on these big lists and stuff, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And like I just went, and after the webinar, they were like, you were kind of all over the place. And I'm like, because I don't know how to do these webinar things at all, because no one showed me how to do it.
The big thing back in the day, a lot of guys that were doing like real estate courses offline, they wanted to bring them online. They called me up and say, hey, could I pay you $5,000 to write me a webinar script? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I'd sit there for a few hours and say, people write scripts, really? Because I don't script anything, I just kind of put some shit on my slide and say, well, this is what I want to teach people, and this is what the product is, and I just got to tell them what it is and how to get it, and that's
awesome.
About it, But then I broke it down. I started hanging out with a bunch of people, like Dustin Matthews and Dave Van Hoos, and these guys get paid like 5 figures to write people's scripts, man. I mean, they're
right.
No joke, right? They're serious about this stuff. And I realized that what I did in my events, they were basically being paid to tell people to do that. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, really? You get paid $10,000 to tell people to say this shit? I'm like, I've been saying this shit for years. What the hell, But my thing is I think people have to break out of this mold of I want a website that just generates traffic. I want sales that just come in automatically. It's great. Want those things. If you want those things, go pay for some advertising. Just start saving your dollars, because that's how you're going to get it, right? Mm-hmm. You get people that say, well, I'm just going to do a bunch of solo meals because I know if I pay this guy $30, he's going to send me 100 clicks, and I'm going to get at least like 30 or 40 of those to opt in, and then I'll just keep selling them shit. Okay. Well, I get at least 60. How about that for every 100? Isn't that cool? Yeah. Yeah. That's because I tested a squeeze page 380 fucking times, and a few $1,000 later, right? But really, if you're not going to invest a lot of money into your business, I mean, this is a bit, you have to decide, is it going to be a business? And is webinars and webcasts and things like that going to be part of your business? And if so, you have to start saying, okay, well, I need the best camera. I need the best microphone. Not all at once. Piece it together, man. When we were in bands, I was a drummer. I had a 32-piece drum kit, and it took me 15 years to put the motherfucker together. It was a pain in the ass, And they were all different colors, so I was having them stripped down and recoated and everything, so they all looked the same. And they were all made of different kinds of wood, so they all sound different. So I was sanding the insides down and putting pillows inside to make them all sound the same.
You're talking Frank's language, man. He's a drummer too.
Yeah, but one day I played this show at Postco's at Pavilion. I think at the time it was Star Lake Amphitheater in Pittsburgh, and we were opening for Godsmack, right?
Nice.
And I get on stage, and this dude, the drummer from Godsmack, comes over. He goes, "That is a killer kit, dude. How much that sets you back?" I'm like, $50 here, $100 there, some sandpaper, a chisel. And he looked real close. He goes, "Holy shit, did you paint these yourself?" I said, "Tried to." Yep. Yep. I said, "From out there with all the lights on it, it looks really good. Up close, don't look at it." But that's what we did. We hacked things. Hackers aren't bad people. Hackers are people that take an existing solution, tear it down, say, how does this work? Can we make it better, or can we make it do something it wasn't supposed to do? Right?
Yep.
And that was Steve Jobs. He was a hacker. That's what he was, right? And what I look at in internet marketing is can I take an existing strategy that somebody's selling? Let's say you guys are selling like, here's how you do hang-ups on your launch page, right? And I say, well, can we do it in 3D?
Yep.
Because 3D would be really freaking cool, right?
No, really, you can.
Right. So so that's the next stage, and I'm like, can I have a manufacturer make 3D glasses that I can sell at a good retail price to the people who have bought this course? Okay, what else can I do, right? What else can I have? And I just keep adding on to things until I say, this is the ultimate solution. And now I have to make it even better. So how do I make the ultimate solution better? I make it look better. Now I emphasize on packaging, on production. Maybe I'll put it out as a physical product. Maybe I'll do it at a live seminar, right? Something I can do to make the experience even better. And then by the time I'm done with that, I'm like, okay, so now it's a digital course. It looks killer. Plus, when they buy the digital, I'm also going to send them the physical course. Not going to charge them extra. I'm just going to give it to them. It's going to have the freaking 3D glasses in it, and a webcam, and a good Behringer soundboard, and an SM57 mic with a pop filter and a boom stand, right? And they're going to get 2 free tickets to the live event, where every single one of those speakers are going to teach them really good shit and sell them at least $50,000 worth of freaking products while they're there, right? And that's the package. That's the big thing. So you're not done with this course. There's all that other stuff. Imagine in your Google Hangouts course, you have a package that you engineered with the perfect mic, the perfect boom stand, the perfect webcam, right? You find these things wholesale. I mean, we're on the internet, guys. Look. Go look on eBay. Buy a package of 150 SM57 mics for like $1,000. Okay, I got at least 150, so I need 150 webcams. 150 boom stands. Where can I get those? Or lighting kits. You can get lighting kits for like $25, and you can sell them at retail for $280. Right?
Yeah.
There's all this stuff now. It's just like, holy shit. Does it just have to be a digital package? Or can I add all this value to it and still stay in profit, right?
Oh no, yeah, and that is the craziness of, and that's why I know we must be brothers in one way or another because of the drumming and the sales.
My dad got around, dude.
Well, maybe we are, because I don't know my daddy. No.
Yeah, he was a truck driver for a long time, so a lot of stops.
But I'm always looking at giving that extra value. It drives my wife nuts sometimes because she goes, "Why are you giving it away for free?"
My wife used to do that to me. Now she just goes, "Oh, you're giving it away for free? Okay."
Well, right.
She walks away.
It's like, okay, and eventually, hope to be at the same level that you are. But it's a passion that I have, and it's always trying to better whatever I have available with teaching somebody. Sitting down with our church and talking to them about what they're doing. And then an hour later, I'm talking down with somebody, and basically the same exact thing. But when I look at this guy and I go, and it's going to cost you $10,000, and they start fumbling and going, oh, and I go, okay, well, I didn't give enough value. That's why they were stuttering.
Yeah, see, I don't care if they stutter. Here's just a big tip. Like, I work with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pirates, the Penguins, and PNC Bank. I do a lot of corporate consulting type stuff. And when I go in there and I throw a pitch down and I let them know what the price is, they don't stutter on price. Ever. Right? So I've gotten good at not hearing the stuttering. So when I hear the stutter, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck are you stuttering about?
Right.
Did I stutter when I said this? Because I don't think I did. And if somebody says, I just can't afford that, I'll be like, well, okay, then we're not right to fit together. We're not right to work together. So if I hear that too many times, I say, okay, wait, I'm attracting the wrong market here. I gotta find out, go back to the drawing board. Where did I go wrong, and where can I go right? And going right for like the high end, like 10,000. Some of my packages are 75,000. I hire independent sales reps, people that like are buyers for American Express and Macy's and stuff. And people are like, yeah, but I can't afford that. Yes, you can, because they get paid for results.
Right.
pay per performance. You know, they don't get paid before they perform, right? It's just that if you promise them $2,000 off that 10 grand sale, give them 3. Right? Give them that good bonus. I got one sales rep right now because of a recent launch I did. She got a new car out of it because she did damn good. She got a nice BMW, man, because she got a better freaking car than I do. I drive a '68 Ford pickup truck. You know, my wife drives a Mercedes, man, and it ain't a new one. It's a '98 Mercedes. You know?
Of course,
but
of course, right?
I think. What you don't want to do now, I just did a webinar the other night on this. You know, I see people, they'll come out with their brand new product and they'll say, well, I'm going to launch this as a WSO for like $7, but later on I'm going to sell it for 47. No, launch it as a WSO for a $7 trial for 30 days and then make them pay 47. Okay,
there you go. Yeah.
Stop devaluing your stuff.
Well, it's just a race to the bottom after that.
Just, you know, when I put out an offer, it's like, you know, this is a $497 course. I don't say, but today you're going to get it for $297. No, it's going to be $497. And if that promotion doesn't work, the people that buy go onto a new list. For the people that didn't buy, the next week they're going to say, I'm going to say, hey, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of see inside the course. So what I'm going to do is give you access to the first module. And I make sure that module is killer. Right. And since the first one's killer, all the other ones have to be now. So fuck, right? Bleep. But we need Salty Droid in here to be like bloop bleeping underneath me every time I say something.
Salty Droid, man.
I love that dude. I do. I love him. Yeah. But then what I do is if those people that buy, they go onto the buyer's list, and those that didn't buy, they got the free module. I say, okay, here's what I'm going to do for you. $7 for 14 days. You can try it out. If you don't like it, just cancel. You can email me. You can throw fruit at me. However you need to cancel, here's how you cancel. Okay. But if you don't cancel, it's going to be the $497 minus the $7 trial. I'll take that $7 off the bottom, or 37 off the bottom. Right. When I do payment plans, everybody's like, oh, you got to finance it. Add 16% to the overall cost and then break it down into 6 payments. Well, you know what, guys? How about this? If it's $500 and they're doing 2 payments, charge them $250 a payment. All right?
Makes sense.
It's not costing you anymore. So just screw that shit. All right? Just stop doing it. And every once in a while, don't be afraid to put another number besides 7 on the end of your price.
Right.
Yes, 7s do convert well and everything, but so does $56.95 per month instead of, you know, $67 a month. $56.95 a month. Dan Kennedy has proven over and over again is one of the highest converting numbers for continuity I've ever seen. It's ridiculous, right?
What was that number again?
$56.95.
$56.95.
Now I'll give you a tip: don't ever put a 99 on the end of your price point because people in Israel don't have the equivalent of a penny. Okay, so they can't buy anything that has 99 cents on the end of it. All right.
Wow.
But
just all sorts of nuggets of goodness coming out of you, Bob.
Yeah, but what you have to think about is you know, if I want more sales, then I want less refunds. So how do I get less refunds? Because I like 0 refunds myself. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. And I say that if you sell a digital course, give at least 6 weeks of your time to. At least. Okay? For one, you're past the 30-day refund period. Okay? For all of you guys that like the 60-day refund, stop it.
Yeah.
If they wanted to bad enough, they could charge back up to 6 months. Everybody knows it. That's the law, right? That's if, you know, they want to charge back for a reasonable reason, like, you know, not because they hated your shit after they've consumed it all and used it, right? But I do a 30-day refund policy because it's just, you know, it is what it is. Don't sell the refund. I see this on copy all the time. You have blind sales copy, not you guys, but blind sales copy. You don't know what the hell you're buying, and then they sell the shit out of the refund. And don't worry because, you know, you're protected by this, and you can always get your money back, and it's a write-off, and you can sell your kids off in return for, you know, getting your money back. And it's like, stop unselling your shit.
Right.
You know, everybody knows you can refund. Stop it. And just for all of you serial refunders out there, PayPal doesn't have to give you a refund on a digital product.
Really?
They
No,
don't
they-
have to. They don't have to. As merchants, we should be like, somebody refund request within the right time period, refund. Don't argue it. Don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
do nothing. But I don't know about you, but if I can get time to sit down and have somebody look at my project and critique it and give me real solid tips and then just say, okay, go do that this week, and next week we'll check back with you to see how you're doing along with the group. The whole group will get together and we'll all comment on it and we'll tear it down and we'll look at it. It gets people more engaged with your product.
Yeah.
They start doing things. Plus they get extra information that's customized to them.
There you go.
You record those sessions, say, hey, if you want to listen to our critique sessions, they're in the back office here, extra little bonus for you. We're going to be adding those for the next 6 weeks, right? And tell you honestly, it gives you enough time to think about what's the next course you're going to sell to those buyers. And I'll tell you, every single time, if you're showing a how-to product, your next thing you sell should be a service to set it up for them.
Oh, right?
Yep, or one-on-one time to work with them on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what people pay for.
Yeah.
They want
I know we were
attention.
talking about this, Frank.
Yep. Yep, they want to have your individualized attention. Now, everybody that's buying your shit today is saying, holy shit, Bob's going to make it so these guys sell me a ton of shit. Now,
Yeah.
what somebody that's listening to this call should be doing, and I know there's at least one person that's done this because it's just the average, they've wrote down every single note, and they're sitting there and creating a strategy and a system, and they're putting it all down on paper, right? And they're going to start thinking about it tomorrow. You know, what if I did all this? What if you emailed it to us and shared it with us, and we said, or you guys said to that person, hey, I want to partner up with you. I'll help you make that product. I'll help you record it and everything. It's your strategy, and we'll split it 50-50 after affiliate sales. I'll handle the launch and everything. Let's get together. You got to do a lot of the legwork. All right, you got to put the effort in, but I'll handle the graphics, the sales copy, and I'll put all that stuff together. That's not me. You guys can do that. I don't want to. Okay? No charge. Just we'll split it on the back end 50-50. Right? I'll come up with an upsell that we could offer to people, and you'll have a brand new list you could sell to, but at least once every 6 months, you got a mail from me too.
Right. No,
Now, type chats from your customers right now. How many of your customers right now would agree to that? Because if they wouldn't, they're insane. Right?
Yeah, guys. No, we've still got a bunch of live viewers. So drop in the comments either on the forum thread here, on the WSO thread, or on the YouTube channel, the video there as well. Give us your feedback. What do you think? I mean, Bob's talking about a lot of really, really powerful stuff, and
I'm sure there's that redneck out there. He's sitting in his truck right now, says, "Some bitch should have brought a pen with me." I could have wrote shit down. I could do that.
I know my wife's going to be like, why weren't you taking notes? And I'm going to turn around and go, because it's recorded.
Because I recorded this shit. I'm going to send it out and have it transcribed so I can read it back.
Bob, you're gonna love this, Bob. I've been at different points where I went, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I've actually been messaging Frank on Facebook going, at this time he said this, and then he said this. And then I was bouncing back and forth between some of your messages and then Frank. And so I've got this 2 hours, 30 minutes webinar course, 2 minutes, 51 seconds stutter, and then I go, oops, sorry, writing notes to the wrong window, and then I made 2 more comments after that. So just be aware.
You have no idea.
Your messages on Facebook.
I have made, from a Facebook chat session with somebody, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars within a Facebook chat. It's ridiculous. Because I'll just be in a group, and I don't go into groups. I won't pitch. I won't sell. A lot of people say, hey, Bob, can I see the replay for that? I'm like, nah, I'm working on it. So that, nah. Because I don't want them thinking that, I'll show you the replay, and then they go and they have to opt in or it's selling them something. And I don't want to put that kind of pressure on my groups. That's my social circles and stuff.
Right.
But what I love is when people, they start chatting me and say, hey, dude, somebody did a couple days ago in one of our groups said, hey, I got, a 500 and some thousand person buyer list on this topic, and I'll mail your thing out, your webinar out to 70,000 of them, and if it does really good, we'll do it on the next one. Then I get into a Facebook chat with them, and we go even further with it, and I offer more value onto the offer so they could have a great experience with it. Then we get on the phone, and I say, hey, why don't we record it together? Why don't we do a brand new one, same presentation, but you get to butt in every once in a while so your subscribers can hear you on this call too, right? and we'll just power on the value. We'll make it the biggest, best thing that they could they'll just be like, holy shit, just where's the buy button, motherfuckers? Right? And then I said, and then they'll get 52 weeks with me live once a week. He goes, what? I'm like, yeah, 52 weeks. He goes, you can do 52 weeks? I said, dude.
Try and stop me.
Dude, I could do it in 52 hours. Not a problem, you know. But this is fun. I get to interact with all these people, right? And he goes, well, okay, well, throw up a webinar registration page. I'm like, no. Listen. I made the product. You put up the webinar registration page. You host the webinar. You record the webinar. You put it on your merchant account. You put it on your shopping cart. You make me a freaking affiliate, and you promote it to your list. He goes, what? I'm like, yeah, you handle all the back end shit. He goes, really?
You do all the hard work.
I said, yeah. And he goes, that's a lot of trust, Bob. I'm like, gotta have trust. I said, because at the end of the day, I'm still going to sell my shit, right? I'm still going to be out there selling it. And if this partnership works out, I'm looking for somebody to launch all of my products for me. They can throw me 20% of the profits. I don't care, because I just love the teaching part. I love the doing part, the researching, the testing. That's me. I'm in the machine. But get into launches and stuff, I'm really good at them. But you know what? I like writing the strategy for it, throwing it off to a team and say, here, do that, right? So now I'm just like, you know, if you got a list, man, you're going to be handling all the promotional shit, but I get the product.
No, and actually, you were saying that, you know, always be ready for 2 hours and before and after. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know what plans that you got going on, but I am more than willing to sit down and hash out some details after this.
Dude, I'm up until 4 a.m., man.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you're speaking our language.
Yeah, we're internet marketers. For all of you that have day jobs, invest in Red Bull. Lots of Red Bull. You know, there used to be something they sold at the filling stations and stuff. What was that called? It started with an A. It was a cool little white pill. It worked wonders, but they don't sell it anymore. Right?
Yeah. UMB too works.
Ephedrine or something like that. Ephedrine. Yeah.
Have you? Okay. Now this speaks to my geek core. But are you guys familiar with that parody video they made a while ago called Power Thirst?
No.
Yes.
By any chance? Okay. Well, long story short is that they actually made a drink called Power Thirst because of the parody video called Power Thirst. I mean, that's
smart marketing, man.
Right. Yeah. I was like, no way, that's brilliant.
It's like my wife. She says, "How come you spend $1 more on the Monster import when the other Monster comes in the same can?" I said, "Oh, but it's not the same can. It has a sealable top, and it was made in Amsterdam, and it tastes slightly different. And for some reason, it works wonders for me. Where the regular Monster, you go, psst, it goes flat in an hour, and it sucks. So I'll pay $1 more." All right.
I am the worst buyer in the world. I mean, I walk into something that I already know I want, and the person goes, "Well, here it is," and I'm like, "Okay," and they're like, "Well, don't you want to know what it costs?" No, just give it to me. It fits everything I want, and I'm willing to pay the extra. Just give it to me now. And everybody's like, "Dude, but you're a salesman. You should know all the tips and tricks." And I go, "I don't have time to barter. I just want what I want when I want it, and I'm done. I'm a sucker."
Well, you know, that's a big mistake with internet marketers. They prolong the sales process. People are just like, "Okay, I want to buy it," and they're like, "Well, now you have to wait 2 days." What? But I'll pay you extra. No, that wouldn't be fair to everybody else. I'd be saying, "You got Skype? Yeah. What's your Skype ID? This is my Skype ID. Okay, here, hold on a second. I'll add you to Skype." And I'll say, "You see Skype? Yeah, I see you on there. You see that link in there? Yeah, that goes directly to PayPal. Okay, you can pay right there. You know, don't let people purchase." And the old sales adage is, people say, "Well, I don't like the upsell and the downsell and the one-time offer and this big process and everything." And Mike Filsame used to say, he killed the upsell because he has like 40 of them, right? And he may have butchered them a little bit and abused them and made them feel like little whores, but I was always taught, you don't stop selling until they're done buying. Let them complete the transaction. Let them end it. You don't stop until they're done. And
I'm
that's
not going to like this, but I sure will buy it.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many times like I got I promoted Mike's Evergreen Business System. I was like number 4 on his leaderboard. I'm not one of those affiliates, okay? Just so you know, I'm never one of those affiliates. But I'm like, this is the coolest shit in the world. I want to promote the damn thing. So I'm smoozing with everybody. I'm like, how do I get to be a JV? Because they didn't have an open affiliate program at the time. I'm like, how can, you know, I have this list of students that I'm teaching how to do webinars and evergreen events and things, and my process really freaking sucks, and I have your software, and it's freaking awesome, and I want to be able to sell the damn thing because all these people are standing in line waiting to buy it, and I'd rather they bought it through me. And his JV manager come back, here, put this code in and sign up here. I'm like, all right, cool. And at the time I had like, I just ended partnership, so I only had like 1,000-person list, right? So it was like, in internet terms, basically I had nothing. Right, and I sold on it, and I made number 5 on his leaderboard. I'm like, holy shit, I beat you and Cha and all these other guys and shit. I'm like, I am the man, right? Then Daniel Tan came out with SEO Presser, right? Awesome plugin, we love it. Everybody does, you should, right? And I was like number 2 on the leaderboard. Little piddly fuck Paul Counts beat me out on it. I'll get you, Paul. Right? And then there was another one. I think it was Omar Martin's Speedy Profit Creator. I was hanging in there number 2 and number 3, and I was hanging in there at number 5 for like a week. And then everybody came out with their bonuses and demolished my ass, and I was like down to like number 9 or 10, but I was still in the top 10, motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is so freaking cool. But the reason I got excited about it, see, each one of these things, I didn't know there was a current launch going on. I just bought the product and thought, hey, I want to be an affiliate for this because I really like it, right? Yeah, and I didn't offer a bunch of bonuses or anything like that. I just don't do that kind of thing, right? So I'm just selling it. And they're all like, how are you getting so many sales and everything? I'm like, you know, honestly, if I'm number 2 on your leaderboard and I'm looking at the amount of sales that I actually got, your launch wasn't very good. You'd be surprised. You know, there's a lot of people number 1 on a leaderboard, and they're like, wow, look at those guys. They won that $10,000 prize in a public eye, but in the back end, no, they didn't because they didn't make 500 sales. They were number 1, but they didn't get that prize, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, there's so much smoke and mirrors that goes on in all this shit. You know, Ben Atkins and everybody else right now is just saying, this motherfucker Bob, I'm gonna kill you. And Ben Atkins is a big dude. You guys ever see him?
Yeah, no, I was at his event, the End of the World event, and you know, I mean, I've met him a couple times. Great guy, really nice. But yeah, he's a solid dude. I would not want to get in a tangle with him.
Yeah, well, he's like the biggest teddy bear in the world too. You know, and I was down in Raleigh, and I went to a nightclub with him and Seth and a couple other people, and we went to this little jazz club, and me and Ben ordered Jack and Cokes, right? In Raleigh, they pour Jack in the glass. I don't know where the Coke went to, but it's not in there. So we were getting wasted off the fumes, right? And we're watching this little jazz band, and Brian Green and a bunch of other people come over and say, hey, there's this really cool nightclub next door. Come over next door. And we're like, but the jazz band, and we're already drunk, so why don't we stay here? You know, and Ben, 6 foot, you know, 23, says, hey, let's just go over and see what's going on. I'm like, all right. So we get over there, and there's black lights, and they rented a VIP table, and there's a velvet rope. And we're standing there, and Ben watches me walk away. There's this chick that walks by, and I just walk away. Well, I'm married. I got kids and everything. I wasn't going after anybody. And I came back, and he goes, did you hook up with that chick? I said, no. She grabbed me by my crotch and dragged me to the bathroom. He goes, what? I said, she was just walking by, grabbed a hold of my crotch, and dragged me to the bathroom. I'm like, had I videotaped that, I could put it on one of my sales pages just to have some fun. I'd sell a lot of shit. I'd be divorced, but it'd be a really good video to put up. Right? But we during the nightclub thing, we were talking about, you know, one of the things we tend to do when we get really good at this stuff, we offer SEO services to companies, offline businesses, and things like that. And what a lot of people don't see is the nightmares that go on behind the scenes with all that. You know, you really got to know your shit. Right? You got to be good at it. And I don't care what anybody says, oh, you're already the expert. If you ain't getting results, no, you ain't. Right. You know, and I tell people all the time, for offline services, sell templated stuff. I will build this for you. Okay, not necessarily I'll get you traffic, I'll get you leads. If you're good at those things, go ahead and do that. Great. But if you're not good at those things, build for them first, learn how to get good at the other things, and offer that stuff later on, right? And me and Ben were talking about how we like the online consulting and coaching and enjoying people's company and working with entrepreneurs, because a lot of times working with offline businesses, it gets grueling and they soak the energy out of you. And you never charge enough, ever.
No.
It's never enough. And then there's people out there, well, you're just not recruiting the right kind of clients. No, those are the ones we're recruiting. They're paying, but they just suck, you know. But everybody sees what we all do on the internet, and they say, I want to do that. Let me just suggest that people learn how to make an extra $1,000 a month, then learn how to make an extra $2,000, then learn how to make an extra $3,000, and grow into your success. And take the time. If you waited this long to be successful in any of this stuff, take your time to do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right. And for those of you that all quit your jobs and decide, I'm just going to go in this thing full time. I've never done it before, but I see everybody else do it. Go get your job back until, you know, I say, you know, work a full-time job until you make a half-time income. Then work a part-time job until you make a full-time income. And then once you've doubled your full-time income, quit your job. Because trust me, starting out on welfare sucked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The stress of not being able to buy food for your house is a horrible place to be.
Yep.
And you can't be productive and energetic when you're there, right? But so what are you guys working on next? What's going on? Let's tell people shit they're not supposed to know.
Yeah, no, wait, Alex, let's bust out some things that should never be.
We can talk shit on people if you want to.
The whole reason
No, we're not going to do that. We love everybody.
Yeah. None of the that guy's all right.
I'm not affiliated with the what's your product called again? What's it called?
It's called Your Launch Live.
I'm not affiliated with Your Launch Live. I'm just sitting here and just ragging on people.
Yeah.
So when you guys buy, don't think you have to put up with me.
Don't worry, guys. You'll dodge that bullet. You won't have to deal with Bob. He's going to be leaving soon, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm better when I'm not sober. Right now, I'm sober.
To answer your question, Bob, this whole thing ended up being pushed up as soon as it has been because of Anthony Aries and Brad Goss launching their product on Friday, and they were nice enough to, well, maybe not nice enough, they were like, we could use some help here, and Frank and I were like, hey, we're your guys. Wow. So we wanted to turn this into an actual service, right? So this product that we're teaching right now, this was scheduled to be a service that we would offer starting in January. We had some introductory offers and things like that, and we're just going to go, all right, here we go, and we'll make the product as it's being built, and we get more and more data as we do as we perform these live launches for people.
Yeah, I tell you what, I suggest everybody that bought your thing, send out a mailer, say, here, get on the waiting list if you want to find out how we can do this for you. Anytime you buy a product like this, take your time to learn it and get good at it. But if the guy that created it is offering to do it for you, let them do it for you while you're learning how to do it. Because that is just, I love that. When StomperNet came out with stomping the search engines, then they offered the service to do all your SEO. I'm like, yeah, okay, you guys can do it for me. Shit. And then I handed the whole course off to my web developer and said, could you take the next 2 years to learn this, please? I couldn't listen to those guys for a half an hour before I was snoring in my chair and falling off the back of my chair. You think your chair is broken? If I lean back too far, I'm on the freaking floor, dude. I'm gone. And then I have the same problem. As soon as I sit in it, gradually over time, somehow I'm like, how did I get so damn short?
We were just talking about
it's like I want to find somebody who can make the right size pipe and just weld it up one size. I don't need the up and down. I'm tired of replacing the whole chair for that one damn piece of equipment.
It was funny last year. I went through like 4 chairs last year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going out and buying a really high-end, top-notch, good freaking, big executive chair, right? And I saw all these top of the line, and they got massagers in the back and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, no, I just want a chair that doesn't sink when I sit in it. So I got the best chair I could find. This thing is $750. It's the most uncomfortable. After 3 months, this thing is so uncomfortable. I'm like, scrap it. It doesn't matter how good they are. They just wear out, But
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, but what you guys did that last week, right? With Brad and Anthony, right?
Last weekend, yes.
It was Friday.
Yeah, I was watching a tail end of that because I was studying. Hey, look, they're using the live launch page.
Well, something, Bob, you'll find funny is while we were creating what now is the Playbook Live, we were actually stalking everybody that we could imagine on Google Plus, on YouTube, we were
Google
watching. We were watching anybody who would ever pop up in this hangout thing, and we wanted to see what are they doing, how's it going about, and we were on the last 2 days, and all of a sudden there were like 5 going up at once, and we're like, guys, no, here, let us help you. Yeah. And they're all ignoring us, and we're like, okay, well, we got to go shoot our show that we've already been paid for.
Well, no, it started like that because we looked at it as, okay, well, there's a lot of big marketers out there that are seeing the power of video and live video, so obviously we can't be the only ones that know how this works. And when you subscribe to someone's YouTube channel, YouTube will automatically notify you when live events are happening. Right. Now, most people don't know that, and so we would get these notifications of like, hey, is live, right? And so we'd go and check them out, and it would be the same thing like, are we live? Is this how's this working? Okay, I don't think we're live. I don't think anybody can see me. And then you just sit there for half an hour just like, I'm like, dude, you're live. Like, I'd send them messages and say, dude, you're live. Stop
couple years ago, Salty Droid posted an audio of Jeff Walker and Andy Jenkins talking. And they're behind the scenes marketing talking about how they can, basically take people for everything they got. And it was a teleseminar that came from. It was a private call for their paid customers. And, it didn't sound good. Just it sounded wrong. All of it. They didn't know other people were on the call because they didn't activate the whole little beep, let it beep when people come onto the call.
Oh.
Yeah, so people were setting up their speakerphone and just coming on early so they could go, get a coffee and go piss or whatever, and they come back and hear these guys' words just kind of like, yeah, and then when you get them into that scenario, you take them for everything they got, right? And they're like, you just assassinate their pocketbook, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, you guys know Salty Droid's out there, right? Because he's on here right now. You guys don't know it. He's bleep, 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 bleep.
No, I have mad respect for the Salty Droid, actually. And there's a lot of people on the Warrior Forum, all sorts of places that are like, no, he's horrible.
He's one of the original Warriors, man.
Really? I didn't know that.
Most of his shit started out badgering people on the Warrior Forum. He's been around forever, dude.
I mean, I think there's kind of opposition, right? And now my camera, because I was messing with it before, right? Okay, we're back. But that's what I respect about him, is just the fact that, I mean, if there has to be that sort of opposition. There's all this stuff coming up on the Warrior Forum and all these ways that you can make money and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and he's the antithesis of it. He's the opposite side. He's like, no, this is why these things are full of crap.
There's a lot of those sites.
You gotta respect it.
You can respect it, but also understand they don't have every end of the story. They don't see what's going on behind the scenes. They don't know what's going on in people's personal lives and a lot of stuff that's going on. I've had coaching programs that were high-dollar coaching programs. I had the curriculum all written. I was all ready to go and everything. And then it took like 9 weeks for me to get it off the ground and start producing the damn thing. And people were paid. They were ready to come in. They had to be patient with it and everything. And it was just a total just meltdown on my end. I'm just like, oh, my God. I moved. I couldn't have it. My internet connection was down for like 3 weeks off and on because our lines sucked and they had to replace everything. My mom had almost 60 strokes in a year and she's only 56.
Whoa.
You know, so I'm like every other day I'm at the hospital, taking her to the hospital or whatever. You know, and then it seemed like everybody outside my household went into debt all at once. Right? Had nothing to do with the recession whatsoever. And here I am paying off all their debts and everything, nearly emptied all my bank accounts and everything. Then I'm getting drained and I'm worn out. Then my kids get sick. And it was just all at once.
Yikes.
But I was lucky enough. I had a group of students that were very compassionate, very understanding, very empathetic, but also that if you search my name in Google, now that we've done this broadcast, everybody's just going to talk smack on me, right? And they can. Go ahead. I don't care. I'm not defensive. But you won't find any bad stuff about me out there anywhere. It doesn't exist. There's no scam reviews. There's no bad comments. There's no people saying I'm an asshole in public, at least. It doesn't exist.
I love Yeager. He's an asshole.
And it's because, for one, I don't feed it. I won't get defensive with people. So, like, if people are posting bad shit about you, let your crowd defend you. You just stay away from it. Just stay away.
Cool. Yeah.
I know my student base. If you came on to a forum, any forum, and posted one negative comment about that, in a heartbeat, like 1,000 of my students will be in that forum. I won't even have to say. I won't even know anything about it, and they will eat that person alive. That person will wish that they were curled up in a fetal position, sucking their thumb when they're done with them. And I don't ask them. And my students are like in their 50s, 60s, 70s. They're not kids or nothing. So they're just like, you know what? Time to go hardcore. We're gonna rip them apart. Let me take these teeth out for a second, and we're gonna rip them a new asshole, right? But it's a matter of those people exist. Salty droids out there. There's a lot of them out there.
Right.
These people have been burned or know people that have been burned. And when you've been burned and you're already in a bad situation, you feel like somebody just pulled the rug out from under you. The whole world's coming to an end. What I tend to do is, if I buy a product and I feel like that, man, I really got taken, and like this is not what they said it was going to be, right? Obviously, it's rare if I do it, but I'm looking for a refund on this thing because it's not what they said it was going to be. If it is what they said it was going to be, but I'm just kind of like, I already kind of knew all this stuff, but it's exactly what they said it was going to be. I'm not refunding on that. Right. I bought that, right? But what happens a lot of times is somebody just spent their last $10 on what you have, and they have no money in the bank. They lost their job. They're in a state of crisis right now.
Right.
And you have to realize that those people, just that $10 investment, and then they're just kind of like, what? I have to buy this $10 software to help this thing along? Like, what the hell? Their world just fell apart. And just the thought of them having to go through a refund process rips their minds and their hearts apart. You know, if you can't relate to that, think of when you were in that position at least one time in your life, right? And it may not have been from buying a product. It may have been a girlfriend left you and you thought your world was going to come to an end. Because that kind of hurt, it wears off, but it sticks with you, right? Well,
absolutely.
It takes one time for that to happen to somebody that's emotionally distressed, and they create those websites. Those are the ones that create that stuff, right? And they feel like everybody's out to get somebody. Everybody's scamming everybody. There's all these sleaze bags in the Warrior Forum or here and there. I think there's so many great people in the Warrior Forum. It's ridiculous how many great people they are. And being able to come to a room like a Warrior event and meet all those people and really see, hey, they got their hardships too, and you know what? They're just out there doing their thing and having a good time and trying to give you something you can use. Maybe they weren't good at creating it. So don't be the customer that refunds. Be the customer that calls them up and says, hey, you know, I noticed you had some trouble with post-producing your videos. I'm really good at that. Why don't you let me help you with that? Right? I want to give you a hand with that. You know, if you're the customer that can help the product creator, then go help the product creator.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, I have students. My first executive virtual assistant, she was a student. She's broke off of her ass. She had nothing to lose from coming into my coaching program and everything to gain. She was willing to drop $5,000 on it. And I talked to her on the phone. I said, "What's your situation?" And she told me. And she's like diabetic, very severe diabetic, can barely pay her rent. You know, husband flew off to the UK somewhere. It was just a bad situation, right? And I said, "Well, you're really good at all this web shit. I suck at this stuff. How about I just teach you this shit and you do my web shit for me?" And she's like, "All right." So my goal was to teach her how to be able to disconnect from me over a year, meaning take her business off and really do something productive with it. Because you can't keep doing shit for free, right? So I taught her everything I promised to teach her. She built all my websites and everything for me until I learned how to do it. I got a great value from that, and by the time she was done, she knew how to bring in at least $10,000 a month, right?
Nice.
So I knew she walked away better off than what she was, and I was better for the experience of connecting with her. And now, even today, you know, 7 years later, people say, "Hey, do you know a good VA?" I'm like, "Do you want a good VA or do you want a cheap VA?" "No, I want a good one." I'm like, because I know one that charges $60 an hour, but she's an executive VA. Like she's got her own VA team, right? She is like the shit. And they're like, "Well, who is she? Where is she?" I said, "And she's in the U.S. Go figure," right? You know, so you can like talk to her when it's daytime and stuff, right? Yep. So I send everybody to her, and I don't take a cut of that. I won't take a percentage of it because she helped me out when I was in my time of need. I helped her out when she was in her time of need. But she was one of those people that email you and say, you know, I'll do work for you if you just let me in that class. And everybody's just kind of like, "Oh, I get so many of those messages." Hey, guess what? A lot of those are true. They can't afford your stuff. They will do something. They will give you value in exchange. It may not be dollar value, but sometimes you got to say, "All right, let me see what you got. Let me see what you're made of. Let me see what you can do. And I'll give you a small project to work on. And if you do it, you know what? We'll work on some bigger things together."
Very cool. Yeah, no, that actually reminds me of.
You guys are going to get flooded with emails now.
But you know what? No. I've always wanted to make a strong stand, and I thought this was just more of a Zane thing, because I was always that guy who said, "Listen, I think what you've got is great, but I don't have the money right now. But if you meet me halfway and give me anything to do, I will blow your mind, and you will be so glad. I mean, it'll be worth more value than you know the money that I would give you." And every single time I was turned down, and so I went, "You know what? Fuck it. When people reach out to me and they can prove themselves that they're going to do something, then yeah, I'll meet you halfway." Because I truly believed it within myself. I knew, okay, I could do this, this, and this, or this, and this. Just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it. Yep. Find some equal exchange here or something like that, and you'll get one of the hardest working people you've ever met on your side. And it never happened. So I want to be able to give that. So if I get emails and messages, bring them on. Bring them on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I tell you, I had a few people back in the day, personal development, big coaches and stuff. They're like, you gotta make them pay something for your products, because you know if they're not invested. I said, hey, if they're working on my shit, they're going to be invested. Trust me. All right. I'm going to get the value that I deserve for my products, but they're also going to get probably an extra level of attention they wouldn't have got if they just paid money for this. Because you do right by me, trust me, your world is going to be very good, right? But there's something Alex Jeffries quoted me in one of his books last year, and I told him, I said, you know, there's in the IM community, there's this huge circle of marketers that are making the 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure launches. And it's good that they're doing it, and these guys know what they're doing. Trust me, they do know what they're doing. The stuff they sell is really good. But what they're doing is they're constantly pulling out of our community's economy. It's the well of the IM community. There's only so much money there, okay? In any community, when you take money out of the community, you have to put money back in. It's a constant exchange. You have to keep doing that. Well, what the problem was, these guys would come in, they take large sums of money out of the community, and then they go and invest it in real estate or whatever, right?
Right.
And so what I started was kind of like this little circle of people where I said, you know, if you take money out of the community today, and let's say you do a 5-figure launch, and you're like, hey, cool, take $1,000 of that and go find one of your students that does some specialized work, graphics, something. Pay them to do some work for you. Put some money back into your community.
That's a really good idea.
Just keep the value flowing. Keep it exchanging throughout your community, because it can only grow from there. But if you're constantly taking it out and paying it to your electric company, your gas company for that new sports car, all these other different things, the people that buy from you will stop buying. Your community's bankroll will disappear. It'll go bankrupt. That's how recessions are started. See, even our little IM community, what's really cool is, like, if you live in a certain country, your country has its own recession right now, right?
Right.
Well, every niche industry has its own, surplus or recession as well, okay? So if you look at the IM industry, yeah, we saw that face you made. But so the IM community has its own surplus. The personal development community does too. The automotive community does. So what we have to start doing is if we take money out of that community's bank, we have to put some money back into it through buying products, software, services, giving the people that need a leg up, giving them a chance to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's some people that are just like, they want to do the whole, would you be able to mail this promotion for me, and when I build my list big enough, I'll mail for you too? And you're just kind of like, that's an average thing we get asked. I don't want to do that. I say, hey, let me see your product. Let me check it out. And I look at it and I'm like, you know what? This is really good, but add this to it, add this to it, add this to it, do this, and I'll do a webinar with you. And if it does well, I'll get some other people to promote it too. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, but I need something from you. Oh, what's that? Oh, I'm going to pay you commission. I don't even want an affiliate link. I don't care about that. What do you need? I'm like, your graphics kick ass. Could you make me some of those?
Yeah.
How much do you charge to do that? And they're like, well, I know I don't do it as a business, but I'm like, well, how much would you charge to do that? I don't know, $200. I'm like, all right, what's your PayPal address? This is what I want. Can you do it? Right, yeah. When can you have it done? Today. Okay. Get it done today. And guess what? Tomorrow we're going to work on your product, make it better, and we're going to put it out to my list and see how it does. So if you start looking at your student base, your customer base is, hey, my service providers are right in here. I've been teaching them. I want to find the ones that know my shit. So I'm going to put out a little test. They'll think it's a survey, but it's actually an application process to find out who is actually following my courses, because I need some help here. Right? I don't have time to do all this shit, and I taught them how to do it the right way.
Excellent.
Right? So, there's big dog marketers in your chat right now going, holy shit, right. I can outsource to my customers.
Ultimate outsource. Well, actually, you know what, Bob? I just got the notification from Google saying that you have 30 minutes left. Now, with that said, right? with that said, I would like to find out from you. This is because it actually does tie into the original message that you sent to me on Facebook. Is that you were saying, let's give me a chance to kind of poke around and whatnot. I would like to ask you what you would say, like, okay, this is nice, but you should add this or take this or what have you, if you've got a few minutes to do that.
And I don't know yet. I think one of the things I'd probably really want to see is is there a backup for this? Because we both know that there's no application on the internet that's infallible, right? So if I put a Google Plus Hangout up, what if I'm just there ready to launch him? Snafu, right? It doesn't show up. What do I use? I want a backup, right? And I'd say Ustream. But, there's some kind of backup out there, right? Okay. It's not going to give you the same benefits as maybe the Hangout will, because it's not going to stream through YouTube or whatever it may be, right? But you can rework. Okay, well, what if I have to use the backup? I say do both if you can. But what if I have to use the backup? What do I do with the backup after it's done to maximize its marketing potential, right? So I want to know those things. That's
all right.
I want to know how to get people that are currently in the live chat, and I don't know if this is in your thing or not. I want to know how to get the people that are currently in the live chat to spread this like a viral wildfire right now while it's live.
Yes, that can be done.
And then I want to know how to maximize potential if they don't buy, to somehow either get them onto my list or at least try the product for free. So these are things I want to say to you. Will that be in your updates?
Oh, yeah. Well, yes.
Well, I am going to tell you about not only the updates, but that is something, the monetization is the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
So being able to, yes, it's free. Yes, you can go find out how to use it. Yes, it's all possible. But there's nobody showing you how to make the money with this.
Yeah, you know what I say, people that are sitting on the fence. Okay, well, here's what you do. Do what we do as product creators and internet marketers and people that test this stuff. Go spend the next 19 hours researching and learning how to set everything up. Go do that. Then spend the next 6 or 7 months testing. And when you come back, this might be here.
Exactly. And I've said, and I said it this morning, and I think I almost floored Zane when I said, if you're not thinking, if you don't grab this, because we're pulling it down in 7 days, because I still hate this number.
I hate you.
But if you don't want to spend the $97, just go over to yourlaunchlive.com and sign up for our $500 program. That's the cheapest one there. And I'll be more than happy for you to buy it there, because you will, because then we're doing it for you.
Yep. Yeah. That's it. Well, yeah, and to me that's like $500 they do it for you. All right. They'll only do it once, but that's okay.
Exactly.
But it's a matter of with a course like what you guys got, and you can tell everybody I don't have an affiliate link. I'm not promoting the course right now. I don't have the course right now. You're not giving me free access to the course, so let everybody know that that's not happening. What I like to look at with the course is, I'm in business to get things done and get it done now. I don't have time to always go out and figure it all out on my own. I can do that. I'm pretty good at that. But I want somebody to tell me what to do, when to do it, and why to do it. I need them to tell me right now. I don't have time to wait 3 months to figure it out on my own. I need to do it today, now. So when a course like this comes out, I'm just kind of like, fuck, they blueprinted it. Cool. I'm going to make a few $100,000 off this shit, because it's something I need in my business. And if you're not broadcasting online, especially on your sales pages and stuff, because how many people think that's a new thing, and it's not. And those of us that knew to do it were making a lot of money before anybody else was making a lot of money.
Yep.
And it's still such an effective way to do things, because you can interact with people while they're going through the sales process. They say, they're too lazy to read the copy. Where's your buy button? You scroll to the bottom of the page, click it. It'll open in a new window. This will still be open, so if you have any problems throughout, let me know, and I'll walk you through it. Hey, I got in. I registered. Where's the email? Give it a couple minutes. There's people like you registering. Okay.
Yeah.
Just refresh your email. Okay, you got it? Okay, great. When you log in, the first place you should go to is here. Take a look at that. Just pause our live feed right now. Go look at that. When you're done looking at it, we'll still be here.
Yeah.
Come back and tell us how you're doing. That's so freaking cool, man. Right? Yeah.
Right there at point of purchase, where people will always have the most questions, and if they dare type into the chat and go, "Here's my question," instant response.
And I got to say, if you guys' sales go up after the time that I came onto the call, you have to give me the change from every single sale.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
So if it's like 27 cents on every sale, that's I get that.
Bump that. Bam.
Yeah. Frank Kern stole that shit from me a long time ago.
Nice.
Well, if Frank Kearns would like to come on here and argue with you about that, we'll be more than happy.
We would
he doesn't
hangout.
argue about anything, and his disclaimer is, I think I created this, but I probably got it from somebody else, but I may not have, so don't take my word for it, and I think I left something out.
I like that. That's a good approach.
Yeah, like he tells everybody.
He cut his hair.
Well, he grew up, and he's working with people that pay him $150,000 plus 15% of their gross revenue. So the haircut, few
Yeah,
pieces of hair.
yeah,
He's not going bald or anything, so he's all right. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure there's also a point where he was just like, okay, I'm like, I don't think it was entirely, you need to look more professional. I'm sure there was at some point he's just like, this long hair is just not doing it for me.
Yeah,
anymore.
and he just married like a top fitness supermodel, so I'm guessing the high society shows they go to and stuff, and dinners, probably not looking for the surfer dude in the Metallica t-shirt.
Yeah.
Just saying. He's not rolling Leonard Skinner anymore. He's driving up in his freaking Rolls Royce Ghost and shit.
Yeah, where's his VW bus that he drives around?
He gave that shit away.
He did. Yeah, he gave it away on a launch. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
He drives a huge Rolls Royce, man. I mean, he has all kinds of cars. I still drive my '68 Ford pickup that my dad bought in 1969.
Attaboy.
Every 15 years it becomes a rust bucket, and we tear all the metal off and redo it and put a new engine. So it's not even the original truck anymore. But we think it is. It still smells like the same truck. So there's a smell that comes with dumped ashtrays on the floor and landscaper mud from out seeding lawns and shit like that. And I restored the truck for my dad when I was 15. And I said, Dad, you got to get a clear coat on it. I can't do the clear coat. Go get the clear coat. And he said, okay. And I paid for the clear coat. And he said, okay. First thing he does that morning, goes to a nursery and gets a truckload of horse manure for his flower beds. They were loading it with the tractor, and with the bucket of the tractor, they put a big dent in the bed. He didn't make them report that to their insurance. And he goes, well, it's a work truck. I'm like, you freaking hick. It was a restored 1968 Ford F100, you bastard. He goes, well, now it looks more like my truck. I'm like, it was your truck. It didn't have to look dirty and dingy, you know. And then for years I said, hey, Dad, you don't drive your truck anymore. It's just sitting there rusting away. He goes, well, it needs a lot of work. It's not worth anything. I'm like, could I have it? No, that's my truck. And I'm not going to give it to you because if I get rid of it, I'm just going to scrap it. I'm like, Dad, could I have it? No, you can't have it. 10 years. It's sitting out in the rain. The paint's peeling off of it, right? It's falling apart. The floors are falling out of it, and nobody's even driven it in 10 years. And then finally he goes, hey, I was thinking, can I park my truck in your driveway? I'm like, well, how long? Well, for good. You can have it. I said, well, thanks for waiting until the fucking thing fell apart, you bastard. So I'm buying all this stuff, racing seats and a Merlin engine and a big-ass, drivetrain, turbo drivetrain for it and everything. He goes, why are you putting that much work into that old truck? I'm like, because I'm going to have that old truck for the rest of my freaking life, and it's going to run like it's brand new for the rest of my life. He goes, but it's a work truck.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're such a hick.
It's a work truck.
I say that to him, you're a hick. He goes, yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a work truck.
No.
All right. All right, fellas. Let me hear your 60-second pitch.
All right, 60-second pitch. All right, yeah. I'll lay it right on you. So Your Launch Live teaches you all the most important parts of this, of launching your product live on a WSO thread or anywhere for that matter. It's what you need to do beforehand to get all the affiliates together, get them all excited on the same page, everything you need to do during the launch so you don't get caught with your pants down around your ankles and look foolish, and everything you need to do after the launch to be able to optimize, market, and even make your launch and content evergreen. So that's everything. We've got 2 other bonuses that we can go into, but you said it needs to be 60 seconds, so I feel like I got to talk faster and faster and faster.
That was only 20 seconds. Keep going.
I was going to say, you don't talk faster, you just hit the points harder.
So, yeah, bonus, how to secure the live content. There's many people out there who are saying, you know what, live is live, and I don't want everybody to see it. We've come up with creative ways to figure out how to secure that live content so only the people that you want to see it sees it during the live broadcast, and then of course you can take it and make it private on your YouTube channel or even download it. And the final bonus is the super speed edits, where you can take a long webinar just like this coming up on up to 4 hours and chop it up through a free system in YouTube that just makes you chop, chop, chop. There you go, and you're done, and you're able to continue to make your launch and product evergreen from there with this awesome tool.
Is this live interacting coaching that you guys are going to be recording and archiving within the back office of this?
Yeah, it's 4 weeks of training. We want to make sure that everybody gets it gets pounded into their skull because this is so new. We want to make sure everybody understands it and everybody gets it so that we can all move forward in one cohesive marketing mass, right?
So basically, there's a deadline to the launch because you're doing a live class, so everybody has to sign up right now. Frank, how do they sign up?
Right now, they go to the bottom of the WSO thread and hit the Buy Now button.
That's really tough.
Yeah, no, we have taken out every hurdle there is. I don't have money for the tools. Fine, they're free. I don't have, time for the training. We spread it out. I need it now. Well, we have that covered too inside of the training. That we'll take this. If you're launching tomorrow, you better buy and let us know so we can work something out.
Yep.
It's a little late in the evening here on the West Coast, but no, you buy it. You'll get the confirmation emails after you pay for it. It's got the schedule in it. It's got everything that you need.
With everything we talked about tonight, are there going to be updates over the coming weeks?
Yes. There has to be. Every time we do something, there has to be because the things change.
Are these folks going to have to pay any more for the updates?
No, they will not.
All right, so all updates, this one-time fee for this course, all the updates they'll get in the future, right?
Absolutely.
Dude, I think they should sign up.
Hey,
Bob, I appreciate this, man. I really, I don't know you. I'm gonna hunt you down this summer when I'm over towards the Pennsylvania area.
Summer's a good time to come. Not the end of the summer because we get hurricanes and tornadoes and everything else that everybody else gets too. And there's only 80 days of sunshine a year in Pittsburgh, so come during the sunny days.
I'll keep that in mind.
We visit Ohio. The wife's a kindergarten teacher, so during her summer break, we hit Ohio and we hit the northeast coast of Ohio. So. Yeah, we'll have to drive down and say
we should meet halfway. We'll meet up at Ohio Powell. It's in Pennsylvania. Nice campgrounds, white waters and everything, man.
Absolutely know where that is.
I'll bring my family up. We'll hang out. We won't fish. We'll just drink beer, eat steak, and sit on the river and pretend that we know what we're doing. How about that?
I love it.
Done. And I'll bring the beer and steaks.
All right, cool.
Fantastic.
None of that imitation Black Angus shit. All right,
right.
I'm not into that. Yeah.
This thing's got about 15 minutes before it kicks us out. So, are there any other pearls of wisdom that Bob or Frank, you guys want to bestow upon us in this the end of this live broadcast?
No, I was thinking we should sit here silent. And just every minute do bong, and then see what happens when it shuts you down.
That would be very interesting.
Does anybody in Type Chat have any questions?
No, nobody in Type Chat. I think they're all kind of going, "What the hell?"
I'm going, "What the hell?" right now because I was using a mouse from one computer and forgot I was on my laptop and it wasn't working. I'm like, "Why isn't my mouse working?" I'm using my 2001 before the what was that AMD Amphion 64 processor that it'll soon to become. That's what the sticker says, coming soon. Right. And I'm like, why didn't you put it in the computer?
that's horrible. I found Dell that weighs about 15 pounds in a box, and I went, what the hell is this, and why does it even work? No, it doesn't. The batteries don't work, the screen's broke, and it's missing like 7 keys, and I'm like, why did I save this?
I have a Commodore 64 that still works, but I don't know what it does.
Oh, my God. My first one ever. I love it.
Yep. That was nice. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll be here all night for 15 minutes until Google shuts us down.
This event has been filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Bob, how would we find out more about what you got running and stuff? Because
search me on Google.
Okay.
Easiest one.
Yeah.
Search Bob Yeager in Google.
Yeah, I've been pulling you up, so.
Hey, you want to hear? Don't pull me up, man. That hurts. But you want to hear an interesting little tidbit of information about the name Yeager?
Yeah.
It's one of the very few. It's one of the very few last names in the world. Now it's spelled a bunch of different ways, right? Because there's different, coat of arms and things. It's one of the very few last names in the world where everybody with that last name, even people that have this last name, don't know this. They're all related.
Really?
Yep. They're all related.
Okay. Now I gotta ask because
Yeager in German means the hunter.
Huh.
So it was a tribe way before, you heard of European like expansion and Roman times and all those things. It was a tribe during the times before Christ that were the hunters for all the noble people. They were the hunters. That's what they did. And our family actually came into the United States around the times that the Vikings first came here, which was way before Columbus and everything. So our family was settling here before Columbus and when the Vikings came here.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is
cool.
I only know that because I'm one of those people that says, what does my name mean? I need to know. It makes me feel better about me. And I hunt a lot and drink a lot. So why is that? Is that a family thing?
Go back to your roots.
Yeah, apparently it is. I was looking one day for coat of arms, seeing if I could find my lineage, my actual lineage. And there's a specific coat of arms. It's like a horn that they used to pour gunpowder into. That's what's on the shield, just that horn. That's it. People have embellished and put like a knight's helmet on it and feathers around it, but it's just a blank shield with a horn on it. I'm like, wow, we were really creative, weren't we?
That's what we do, that thing right there.
Yeah, we put gunpowder and guns, and before there was guns, we used to drink out of that horn. We drank our beer out of that. So, but yeah, I just thought that was an interesting tidbit of information. But so go buy now.
Yeah, search for Yeager, but don't get too drunk because you search for the wrong one.
Well, buy your course first and then search for me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And then you can have your own hangouts on your own launch pages, selling new coat of arms for the family of Yeager because there's like billions of us out there. So
there you go. There you go. Well, Bob, you know what? Thank you so much for being here. You have made this live broadcast tonight just an absolute hoot. Anybody who watches this, I know they're going to be like, okay, well, that's interesting. But when Bob came on, man, then it really kicked up a notch.
Yeah, you're going to be like, this is the extortion reel. We're going to do a replay. Right? Yeah. This guy sells his shit, but we bled him dry of all the information he's got. Now I'm sitting here thinking, all right, what's the next coaching program I'm going to do this month? And I just blew everything out on here. I'm like, all right, so people got to just pay me just because I'm here and Christmas is coming. I don't have anything to sell you now. There's a course called Covert NLP. Go buy it. That's a good one.
There you go.
But you should wait because I'm going to be selling it. I don't have partners anymore, so I don't have to split my profits. So it's going to be a better price come this year. So everything's going good.
I would like to say one other thing to you, Bob, is that, and of course I will never speak for Frank, but I can tell you this much for sure. If you ever need help with any kind of live launch with your products or anything like that, I am there. Ready to go. You want to go 49 hours, we'll go 50.
Holy shit, 50's a little much. Now you're exaggerating things a little bit, I think.
Hey, it's all about
extra hour.
The limits, right?
That extra hour could mean dehydration. It can mean liver shutdown because there's a lot of drinking that goes on those calls. All right. It may look like a coffee cup that says "I love easing" articles on it, but really, what's inside is what's keeping me going, right? And it's not coffee.
I'll tell you what. 20 years of power drinking, I think I can handle that part.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I haven't had a real drink in like 7 months. And my wife thinks I quit drinking. She goes, you got this dusty bottle of whiskey in there. And she's been like dipping into it, and she doesn't even drink whiskey. I said, why are you drinking it? She goes, I don't want it to go bad. I'm like, it doesn't go bad. Leave it alone. Quit drinking it. That's good shit. Yeah. I'm like, you know how long I've had that bottle? My grandfather before me? Quit drinking that shit. I can't replace it. She goes, but it's almost black. I said, because it's old. It's supposed to be that color.
It's the good shit.
when I have a sinus problem going on, teaspoon of that, I'm right as rain. I'm sleeping through the night, man. That's old school medicine. That's white man medicine right there.
That's right. The hair of the dog that bit you.
Yeah, we destroyed this country with that medicine. That's right. It'd be a lot more peaceful place had it not been for us and our whiskey, you know. But no,
and that's the last we heard of Bob.
Yeah, really, right. But no, guys, I enjoyed this. Thanks for having me on tonight. It was fun getting to know you and everything, and everybody should go buy your shit and go buy my shit.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody should just go out and buy some shit, right?
No, not some shit. Your shit.
The shit, our shit.
Then my shit. Then if you want to some other time, Ben Atkins shit. You know, Justin Popovich shit. You know.
Yeah, Justin.
Buy everybody's shit.
Buy everybody's shit and keep it.
Yeah, everybody's got kids. You know, we want to feed our families and everything because we have such a hard time doing that. And,
yes.
You know, my daughter likes steak. Just saying. Just saying.
Not that Black Angus bullshit.
She is not a vegetarian. You know, I'm saying she likes deer meat.
Vegetarian
so for all you hunters, what pizza? I don't think that counts as vegetarian if it's got cheese on it, man.
I don't care. I mean, this is the wife.
Animal byproduct.
What are we eating now? And I'm like, pork chop. She's like, good. Give me 2.
You know, for the 30 seconds we have left before Google shuts us down, you know what I hate? I hate the internet.
Yeah.
I do. I hate the internet because it's taught me so many things, and I wish I didn't know all this information because I used to like hot dogs. It was my favorite food. I didn't need to know how that was made. I didn't care. I don't care there was earthworms in it. I didn't know. I thought from time to time, you know what, this tastes like earthworm smell. Wonder why. Yeah, you know.
My favorite thing is when somebody says, you know, you got to cook those, and I go, why?
Why?
And they go, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, my mom used to throw that package of hot dogs in the backyard to us in the middle of summer, and we'd eat them things right there. What's this cooking crap?
When I was a kid, my mom used to mix up crackers, onions, green peppers, some salt and pepper, and some ground meat, and we used to eat that shit raw. Nowadays, people say, you can't do that. And I'm like, the hell I can. There's the reason why people in my family live forever. They eat the shit you say you can't eat.
Watch me do it.
Somebody said, what was the temperature of that meat? And I go, cooked.
Yeah.
What do you mean temperature? And they're
I've
like,
had it in my hand for about 15 minutes, so 98.6 degrees maybe.
I don't know. It's bleeding on the plate. It's good.
Yeah. Steak isn't supposed to be brown. They're supposed to be pink in the middle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And look at this, guys. Look at this. We've still got a handful of viewers live.
Oh well, lucky for them.
I was going to say lucky for them. Okay, guys, listen. I got to put a sick wife to bed. Bob, it was awesome meeting you.
It's cool, dude, man. Really, you too. Tell your wife to suck it up. It'll all be good.
I told her to. I told her. I said, well, you know, grab your balls and get to bed. You know, she grabbed mine out of the drawer and went to bed.
What did I say? Parental advisory, a banner at the top.
Yes, no,
PG-13. Yeah,
it's you know, we weren't doing bong hits, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right, nice meeting you, fellas. I'm going to get out of here and go make a steak out on my grill now.
All right, guys. You have a great night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us live, and we will see you in the next live broadcast because this is only the beginning.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Later.